Minnesota.
The weather is heating up in Twins territory, and the Twins hope their offense will as well. They will try to salvage one game in this series with the Rays, hoping to avoid a sweep to start the second half of the season. Happy Sunday afternoon on a steamy day at Target Field. I'm Jamie Hirsch. The Twins have managed to score just 3 runs in their 2 losses to the Rays, but their play in the field has been impressive, to say the very least. And last night, the Twins turned 5 double plays, all on ground balls, just one shy of the franchise record, bringing their total to 92 on the season. Remember, Brian Dozier has played with 5 different shortstops this season, but has found a nice rhythm lately with Eduardo Escobar. And last night, Ron Gardenhire was pleased with how the entire infield played.
Dozier turns it as well as anybody. Dozier, on the balls to him, that feed, that little backhand feed, he's kind of got that down pat. That's not easy to do, and from the different angles. So him and Escobar work pretty well together up the middle. And like I said, starts with your pitcher getting ground balls.
Ron Gardenhire also mentioning Trevor Plouffe and his impressive play at third base. However, today it'll be Eduardo Nunez with a chance to shine at third. Kevin Correa is hoping his infield plays just as well behind him as they did last night for Phil Hughes. We'll have more on Kevin Correa's turnaround to the season coming up next.
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Bud Light Lime, the perfect beer for whatever happens. And by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
Some of the best food in the American League can be found at Target Field today. The Twins will try to win a ball game against the Rays and gain a split in the season series with one of the hottest teams in the American League. And we welcome you to Target Field. Good Sunday afternoon to you. Dick and Bert with you for the final game this year between the Rays and the Twins. Kevin Correa hoping to continue after the break the outstanding streak of starts he gave the Twins leading into the break.
Yeah, I think we all know that Kevin Correa in the month of April and May and part of June was really struggling. It was not the Kevin Correa that the Twins saw last year when he was their most consistent starter, but he has picked it up. Over his last 7 starts, 6 quality starts, even though he's lost 4 ball games and he's lost 11 overall, a very good 2.30 ERA, and nobody better to hear it from Kevin Correa. What about your turnaround?
I think I've thrown the ball great for the last month and a half. I had a long way to go, and in the first half or going to the All-Star break with the numbers that I did was definitely good. It was something I needed to do, and it's a good jump start for the second half of the season.
I think one thing Kevin Correa would like is a little more run support. He's had the lowest run support of any Twin starter.
Well, about the time Kevin Correa turned his season around, so too did the Tampa Bay Rays. Some new faces in the lineup. That's part of the business plan for the Rays. Kevin Kiermaier looks like one of the better young players in the game.
I tell you what, Joe Madden, the manager, has said that Kiermaier has brought a lot of enthusiasm with him, and that's what you need sometimes. The Twins saw it with Santana when he came up with the Twins the first time. You need somebody to help ignite this ball club, and Kiermaier has done that for the Rays.
If the Tampa Bay Rays can get back into the playoff race, a wild card position perhaps in the future, and that's a big if, they're going to do it the way they've succeeded over the years with great starting pitching and a pretty good bullpen to match.
Yeah, first 2 ball games here, we saw Alex Cobb, and then last night it was David Price. But you go back to 4 starts, the starting staff has done an outstanding job. And then we have seen already in the first 2 ball games, they have some flamethrowers out of that bullpen.
One of the biggest concerns for the Twins coming into the year is to reestablish some home field advantage. They've not played well at home now for the last couple of homestands. They desperately need a win here this afternoon.
Sunday afternoon, and simply put, it's time for the Twins to win a ball game at home. And they can gain a split in the season series with a Rays team that has really turned things around.
Yeah, and the Rays have played very well here at Target Field, 14-4 since 2010. So time for them to lose.
If you need assistance.
I didn't even know you were there, man. I had no idea.
4 days off like everybody else for the All-Star break, and now an off day tomorrow in St. Louis, another off day on Thursday. So a bit of a challenging part of the schedule in its own way for the Rays as they hope to keep playing and winning ball games. The Menards batting order: Desmond Jennings on top, Ben Zobrist, Matt Joyce, Evan Longoria, James Loney, Brandon Geyer, Yunel Escobar, Kurt Casale, and Kevin Kiermaier.
And it'll be 33-year-old Kevin Correa on the mound, making his 20th start, his first this season against the Rays. It was Correa last September against the Rays starter here this afternoon, Chris Archer. They battled each other, and it was Correa that lost that ball game 3-0 to the Rays back in September of last year. In his career, making his 4th career start against the Rays, looking for his first career win.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham back in the lineup. He's in left field. Sam Fold back in the lineup. He's in center. Oswaldo Arcia back in the lineup. He's in right. Nunez, Escobar, Dozier, Morales, the infielders. And Eric Fryer will do the catching. Fryer's been matched up a number of times with Correa. The result's pretty good. No surprise to see him behind the plate today.
Yeah, Correa, kind of a veteran. You know, he's got a lot of major league starts. This is his 210th major league start. Has a good idea what he wants to do out there. And Fryer hopefully will put down the right signs. He'll talk between innings and make sure they're on the same page.
Scoring has been a challenge for the Twins in this series. And today they hope to score first. And to do that, they'll need some zeros put up by their starting pitcher. And Correa delivers strike 1 to Jennings.
You know, some interesting numbers. And we were looking at yesterday in second inning when, you know, they put the Rays put 3 on the board. But when the Twins do score first, they are 29-16 this year. And when the opponents score first, they're 15-36.
Driven to right. And some carry out to right field and off the wall. And Arcia will play it on one hop off the wall, and it's a leadoff double for Desmond Jennings.
Well, Jennings getting his 2nd hit of the series. The guy you want to keep off the base paths with his speed. That's his 24th double of the year.
Ball looked like it hit about halfway up the fence in right.
You see the fastball down a little bit, but Jennings with that uppercut swing. Arcia has to play it high off that wall and get it back in.
Here's Ben Zobrist. We saw him start in left. We saw him start in right. Finished last night's ball game in left. And today, he is the starting second baseman. There's so much talk about David Price and what he might bring the Rays in a trade. And this is the other name that's prominently mentioned because of the versatility. He's a professional ball player, gives you good at bats. He's a switch hitter, and he can play just about anywhere on the field.
And Zobrist knows what his job is here, and that's to try to get Jennings over to third base.
And on the outside corner, 1-1.
Correa coming off a start last Saturday, so it's been a week between starts where he pitched very well in Colorado. Only gave up 1 run in 6 innings. Twins won that ball game 9-3. 2 prior starts before that, he lost 4-0 and 2-0.
Pulled foul. When the results within a season are so dramatically different for a player, in this case a pitcher, there's usually a reason for it. And the one most prominently mentioned for Correa is using a slider more. Breaking pitch off his fastball that breaks both across and down rather than just the cutter that moves sideways.
Cutter, yep. You know, a lot of players, you come up with a new pitch, and cutter's kind of been, you know, last couple of years, it seems like everybody wants to throw a cutter. Sometimes you forget about the other pitches that made you successful. There's a curveball right there. Good block by Fryer. It all keys off the fastball and also control. Correa's always had good control over his career. Coming into this ballgame, 110 innings pitched, only 26 walks.
2-2. Correa with a tough challenge here, pitching around a leadoff double in the very first inning.
Yeah, Kevin, not a strikeout pitcher. So maybe a little pop-up right here. Ground ball toward Nunez or Escobar. The left side of the diamond. If you can, keep Jennings at second base. Fryer sitting inside, and the breaking ball missing down.
3-2. A base is open, and the Twins turned 5, should have turned 6 ground ball double plays last night, but you don't want to have the bases too cluttered for Joyce, Longoria, and Loney either. Three and 2 to Ben Zobrist. Not yet.
All right, threw him a 2-2 breaking ball. See if he throws it 3-2.
Lost him. And Correa looked off in the distance after delivering ball 4. First and second, nobody out.
There's a changeup right there, and a little disgusted at himself, I think, by missing outside.
Today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces, serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching around the world in Iraq, Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia, South Korea, Japan, and we welcome all of you wherever you might be.
Sure do. God bless you all.
Matt Joyce with runners at first and second, nobody out. Twins turned the 5 double plays, and most of the double plays they turned were after the damage had been done on the scoreboard. Here a chance to perhaps get a double play before the damage is done on the scoreboard. 1 strike.
Joyce did not play in yesterday's ball game. 1 for 4 here on Friday night with an RBI.
Changeup drifts outside, 1-1. 10 pitches, 5 strikes for Correa.
Correa working off that first base side of the pitching rubber. At times he has a tendency to really drop off toward first base, open up that chest a little bit, and expose that ball a little quicker than I know that he wants to. There's a good pitch.
Taken for ball 2. Just missed the corner. Gabe Morales behind the plate.
8 double plays turned behind Correa, and you hope that that's a pitch that Joyce would swing at, maybe hit a ground ball.
Tough spot here, and a big pitch, 2-1 to the third place hitter. 3-1. Longoria on deck.
For some reason, Correa has not pitched as well here at home than he has on the road. This is his 10th start here at Target Field. He's 2-6, an ERA over 6. On the road, an ERA at 3.3.
And he missed. And they're loaded up with nobody out. Jennings to third, Zobrist to second. And Joyce now taking over at first base. Fryer to the mound.
Back-to-back walks.
Anderson to the mound, and the first inning panic situation for the Twins. Today's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. We're looking at pitches put in play.
I say he doesn't walk a lot. You know, he doesn't strike out a lot. So you see the top 2 wearing Twin uniforms in Correa and Gibson.
The best example of the pitch to contact pitching philosophy, which can be very successful. But now you hope that the hitter, in this case Longoria, puts it in play to the right person. Third baseman Nunez playing about even with the bag. He may come home if he gets a ground ball. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. It was Longoria here on Friday night who delivered the big hit, the 3-run double with the bases loaded.
Yeah, that came in the 3rd inning against Kyle Gibson.
1 strike to Longoria. Nice dig by Fryer. 1-1. In Longoria's case, he was quite happy to essentially start his second half with a productive at bat, driving in 3 runs because he had a disappointing first half. Not the way you want to start the ball game. Bases loaded, nobody out.
Longoria 0 for 8 against Kevin Correa. Not a lot of at-bats against Correa.
Another vicious swing and a miss. 0-2. Or 1-2 rather. Correa, I think, got both swinging strikes on a breaking ball.
Yeah, Longoria struggling a little bit against right-handed pitchers this year, hitting only .242, .313 against left-handed pitchers.
One and 2. Breaking ball. It's tap foul. So Correa going after Longoria with the soft stuff, trying to get him out here in the first inning. Fryer with a brief chat with Correa. To short right field. Arcia coming in with some momentum. There's the catch. Here comes the throw on a bluff tag. Morales cuts it off, 1 down. Every bit as good as a strikeout there. A short fly ball to Arcia.
For sure right there that Longoria, Correa went back to the breaking ball. Longoria a little out front, just trying to make contact, but did not hit it deep enough. And Arcia, we have seen him out in right field. Very strong arm. He played it right. He got behind that ball, so when he caught it, he could make a throw toward home. Big first out.
That being just the first out. If Loney hits a fly ball to the same spot, Rays might be more inclined to send Jennings in after the second out.
Right.
Loney been slapping the ball all over target field here, picking up a cluster of singles in the first 2 games. And he takes strike 1. That looked to be the cutter that we talked about. Just a couple miles per hour off the fastball with a little lateral movement on the outside corner. Fryer caught that ball awkwardly, a breaking pitch, 1-1.
Yeah, Loney has the most at-bats against Correa. Of course, Loney coming most of his time with the Dodgers, Correa with the Pirates and also the Padres. That was a breaking ball, I think just slipped out of his hand.
1-1 to Loney. Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss, 1-2.
Good breaking ball right there. Good location. Underneath that swing of a lot of left-handers. Loney 8 hits and 34 at-bats against Kevin Correa.
As Correa tries to pitch out of this jam, he's relying on one of his better breaking balls that he's had so far this year. 1-2 to Loney.
Keep it down. Going inside again. And another one slipping out of his hand. Saw Fryer sitting down and in, and the ball ended up out over the plate.
It's 3 straight breaking balls.
A lot of times when it's damp out or maybe a little humid, they have that rosin bag behind the mound there that will help grip that baseball a little bit better.
2-2 to Loney. Drilled to right, a base hit. Jennings scores. Zobrist being waved around. Arcia drops the ball in right field, and it's a 2-run start for the Rays, with Loney picking up another single.
Yeah, it should be a 2-run single for Loney, and I believe there's going to be an error on Arcia, who fumbled that ball. Joyce was going to stop at second base, but then when he saw the mishap right here, ball down, and Loney just dropping a barrel of the bat, he picks up his 6th hit of this series.
You can see Joyce took a step and a half back toward first, so that he has ended up at third base as the direct result of Arcia dropping the ball. There, right, as you said, should be an error. But 2 runs batted in for Loney and another first lead to the Rays. Here's Brandon Guyer. Squeeze play. Correa flips it home. Out at the plate. And here comes Joe Madden. It looked like the tag was high and might have been after Joyce's spikes cleared and touched home plate.
Yeah, this is a safety squeeze because Joyce did not take off until Guyer made contact with the ball. Let's see if Joe Madden wants to review this. Watch the squeeze right here, and Joyce kind of took off then, and then the flip.
Well, I think his left leg popped up in the air. I don't believe his left foot touched the home plate at all. Here, take a look at this replay and watch his left leg bounce in the air.
Yeah, I don't believe his left leg ever touched the plate.
And so Joe Madden, who lost an early challenge here the other night, has the dilemma here, and they're just going to let this play out without a challenge because, and we've seen Twins sliders do that too. The front leg hits the ground and pops up over second base. We've seen it a number of times. Arcia has done that a number of times, but here just bounced right over the plate.
That's good play by Correa. You worked on that in spring training. A lot of PFP. You may never use it, but maybe one time during the year where you come in and feel it with your glove and then flip it to your catcher. And that was perfectly executed right there by Correa. And a good tag by Fryer.
And a balk is called by Correa as the runners took off. It almost looked like Correa, was he pitching from the windup and stopped?
No, I believe he was in the stretch, and he kind of moved his left foot, I believe. Take a look right here. Yeah, he's in the windup.
With runners at first and second,
yeah.
Correa was pitching from the windup and then aborted that to commit the balk. And now to right center field, Full chasing it and comes in to make the catch. A peculiar inning, but a consistent theme in this series. The Rays score early and first. Good number in each of the first 3 games. 2-0 before the Twins can swing the bats. Ron Gardenhire with 999 losses to go with the 1,042 wins. Joking before the game, saying, "Oh, we're going to win the rest of the games this year, so I'm not going to know what it's like to lose 1,000 games." The Menards batting order: Brian Dozier, followed by Eduardo Nunez, Trevor Plouffe, the designated hitter, Kendrys Morales, Oswaldo Arcia, Josh Willingham, Eduardo Escobar, Eric Fryer, and Sam Full.
And it'll be Chris Archer on the mound, making his 20th start, as Correa is, his first this season against the Twins, his third overall. A couple starts last year. I mentioned the one against Correa here at Target Field. And then prior to that, July 9th in St. Pete. Worked a total of 12 innings, is yet to allow a run to the Twins.
Dozier takes a fastball down the middle, strike one. Dozier, Nunez, and Plouffe. Dozier staring at a pull shift. And he hits into the shift. It's the shortstop Escobar who fires to first, one away. Northland Ford defense with the Tampa Bay Rays. Outfield of Matt Joyce, Desmond Jennings, and Kevin Kiermaier. Longoria, of course, the fixture at third. Escobar, the shortstop. Zobrist, the second baseman du jour. Loney at first, and Casali behind the plate.
Yeah, this is the 100th game for the Tampa Bay Rays, and Longoria has been in every game.
Here's Nunez, bluffing a bunt, taking a strike.
Archer making just his third career start against the Twins, his second here, just 25 years old, his third season with the Rays.
Rays, with winning the first two games against the Twins, now have by a marginal amount a better record than the Twins. Popped up backing out of play, but the Rays for an extended period of time now have played championship caliber baseball. And the Twins have had little spurts, a good road trip, but then tough time winning at home as of late, and that's particularly distressing to Ron Gardenhire and his bosses. His team needs to do a much better job of winning at home than they have.
The Twins are 21-24 here at home.
It's down the right field line. Kiermaier comes in for the catch, out number 2.
Let's take a look at the Mall of America scouting report on Chris Archer. He has all 4 pitches. Very good fastball, curveball, slider better than the curveball. And you have to have a little bit of patience, I think, if he falls behind. He has walked 45 batters in 114 innings. 5 wins, 5 losses on the year.
Plouffe with a home run and a double in the series. Takes a strike on the outside corner. Trevor went into the All-Star break, nearly hit for the cycle a week ago today at Coors Field. Then came out of the break with a 2-run home run, a couple of well-hit balls last night. And again, a fastball right on the outside corner, clocked at 97 miles per hour.
A nice, easy delivery for this young man right here.
They keep coming. The Rays are going to lose talent off the top end of their economic model. Guys like James Shields, at some point it's inevitable they're going to leave, or they just become too expensive. And that might be what happens to David Price. But as long as you can keep feeding the well, or draw from the well to feed the Major League Ball club.
Well, you have Matt Moore, that's
right.
Currently on a disabled list, had the Tommy John surgery. Of Hellickson, 2 high draft picks that have produced for the Rays. Archer, they got him through a trade. Actually, when they traded Matt Garza to the Cubs, they ended up trading for young Chris Archer.
Fouled away, and you look at him, there's not a whole lot to him. He's not a large specimen by any means. But you just saw 97 miles per hour on the radar gun.
Well, originally signed by the Indians. out of Clayton High School in North Carolina, out of Raleigh, North Carolina.
2-2 to Plouffe. Crack to right field. Kiermaier running to the corner, and he makes the catch. Covering a lot of ground out there. Plouffe put the barrel of the bat on it, but it's a 1-2-3 first inning.
Escobar has become the everyday shortstop for the Twins, and he really feels like he's come a long way from last year. A lot of people don't know Escobar spent this past winter playing in Venezuela, and he actually won a Gold Glove at shortstop in that league. That is something he takes a lot of pride in, and he says that everyday playing experience helped keep him sharp both in the field and at the plate. And there's one more thing, guys. Escobar tells me that playing next to Brian Dozier has really made him a better infielder. He thinks Dozier should win a Gold Glove in the major leagues. And he says those two have really been able to come up with some good chemistry. We certainly saw that chemistry last night as they put on an absolute clinic in turning double plays.
Thank you, Jamie. That's something we have not heard from for a long time. That, the middle of the infield, both of them playing very well.
Well, while we were on the last road trip and Roy Smalley was sitting where you would normally sit, as a guy who was a former shortstop, I asked Roy to assess how the Twins shortstop play was this year. They've had a number of different players there, going back to Florimon, Nunez, Santana, Escobar, and he said he thought the shortstop play was very good this year, and that too is something we have not said. Although Florimon defensively was fine, you have to be a complete player to man that position for any length of time, which means you have to be able to hit too.
Yeah, offensively you'd like to have something out of that, but you know what, overall there's only been 6 errors committed by the combined shortstops this year. That's the fewest in all of baseball by the position shortstop. 5
different guys or whatever it's been. 1-1 to Kiermaier. What a bat to put 9th in your lineup. Hitting over 300, 8 home runs, 24 runs batted in.
Well, Sean Rodriguez yesterday batted 9th. He has 9 home runs. And you said you talked to Joe Madden. He had a hunch that Rodriguez was going to hit a home run. That's why Matt Joyce wasn't in the lineup against Phil Hughes.
Somebody asked Madden yesterday about the lineups and why, Joyce has got great numbers against Phil Hughes. Why not put him in there? He goes, well, I think Rodriguez is going to hit a home run into the upper deck, second deck. That ball just out of the reach of Escobar, and Kiermaier with a busted bat gets a single. Yeah, he said he thought he just had a hunch Rodriguez would hit a home run into the second deck here at Target Field in his first at bat. That's exactly where he hit one.
Did he give you any numbers? Like 5 of them? Maybe 6?
So a busted bat flare to left, another hit for the Rays, and here's Desmond Jennings, who blasted one off the fence in right his first time up. Up and in, ball one. Correa hasn't had the command, as we've seen just about one ball for every strike so far. Up the middle and through for a hit. Another hit. 2 walks, a balk, an error, and now 2 singles to add to the 2 hits in the first inning.
Good aggressive base running by Kiermaier, getting over to third base.
Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 96. Choose from the intimate Premier Suites, the flexible event suites, or the spacious Skyline Suite at Target Field. Food and beverage included in every purchase. And you can find out more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. First and third, another situation, and there have been frankly too many of them already today, where the Twins need a ground ball double play. Zobrist walked in the first inning and then later scored. Strike over the inside corner.
Yeah, you hate to keep looking down at the sheet and saying, okay, how many double plays did he hit into? You'd like a 1, 2, 3 innings. Zobrist has hit into 4 double plays.
Late.
A good changeup right there.
Yeah, but he was late on an 86-mile-per-hour pitch.
Probably guessing something else.
Regarding double plays, Ron Gardenhire this morning said, you know, that's all well and good to get 5 of them, but it means you've had too many guys on base. And more important is getting double plays in key spots like this. If it's only 1 or 2 a game, make sure you pick a good spot to get them in. And so much of that depends on the guy on the mound. Just off the outside corner. Phil Hughes said last night he didn't think he got 5 double plays all last year. 1-2. Again, missing the outside corner.
Really flying open. From time to time, you see Correa on that mound just fly open, and it kind of leaves that arm back, and it's hard to get out front when your upper torso is just opening up quickly.
Correa obviously not a strikeout pitcher, but he hasn't struck out more than 3 batters in a game since late May. He's got 2 strikes here on Zobrist. Fly ball center field. Full back. It's deep enough to score Kiermaier. Out number 2, and Full quickly gets it back in. 3-0 the score.
Zobrist picking up an RBI, his 27th of the year. As the hustle of Kiermaier going from first to third added another run for the Rays. Because that ball that Jennings hit, that was hit hard, but he didn't stop at all. He just hustled over to third. Getting a big hug from David Price.
Matt Joyce talking with Price before the game today. He spent a week here in Minnesota. Kidding him, he needs to take up residency here. He flew in here last Sunday.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes. He says Minnesota's his favorite visiting city to go to. So for those of you who like to dream,
I do.
Something to dream about. Up and away, and another.
Yep.
I think Ron Coomer called those when he was working on our telecast non-competitive pitches.
Right.
That doesn't really accomplish much of anything.
Yeah, no purpose pitch. And again, just flying open.
1-0 to Matt Joyce.
Those are the adjustments you have to make, and the quicker you make them, hopefully the deeper you can get into the ball game.
Busted bat, a roller to second. Easy play for Dozier. That ends the inning. Another run for the Rays. Today, USAA would like to pay special recognition to all of our service members at home and abroad. Something here in the bottom of the second. He's been in his hottest streak since his first week with the Twins.
Yeah, 9-game hitting streak, 10 hits in that 9-game hitting streak. Driven in some runs, which the Twins need. Morales with 10 doubles on the year in 138 at-bats. 1 home run, that coming in Anaheim.
And in the second inning, it'll be Morales, and then Arcia, and then Willingham. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, the Twins are going to have to do it by getting extra base hits. This guy, Archer, has really kept the ball in the ballpark. He's allowed only 5 home runs this year in his first 19 starts.
Down and in a ball. And that's in well over 100 innings. So, yeah, it's a tall order for the Twins, who've had a tough time bunching anything together yet since the All-Star break. And, of course, you have to give the Tampa pitching staff credit for part of that. This one to left center field. Chased by Joyce, and he's there, 1 away. And that'll bring up Arcia.
3 fly ball out so far, 1 ground ball out by the first 4 batters that Archer has faced. He looks like a baby, doesn't he? 25 years old. He looks like he's 17.
And now Arcia facing an exaggerated shift. Right back to the mound. A number, 2 hops, fielded by Archer, and he fires it past Loney. And now Arcia digs for second, and the throw not in time. The simplest of plays for a pitcher, a 2-hopper. Didn't have to deal with the slope of the mound at all. He just took a step toward first and threw it in the ground.
Yeah, you know, you want to work on your sinker when you throw it toward home plate, not to your first baseman. Archer sets up, does a little crow hop.
Well, he was on the mound, wasn't he?
And then threw it low to Loney, who's very sure-handed over there, but has plenty of time. And the ball bouncing over the glove of Loney, and it'll be a 2-base error by Archer.
And now Willingham. Down low, ball 1. Willingham, of course, hit by a pitch in the first week of the season and then came back. And since he's come back, there have been snapshots of what we saw from Willingham 2 years ago. What they need is a DVD cut, a longer run of success from Willingham. And he's just had a tough time getting going. 1-1. Held out of the lineup yesterday.
6 of his 9 home runs came in the month of June.
And he beats the shift, trickling one into right field. Arcia is going to be waved around. Here's the throw from Kiermaier. Safe at the plate. And the Twins are on the board with Willingham beating the shift. An aggressive wave of Arcia toward home by Scotty Elger.
And Joe Madden's going to come out and take some time to look in and see the replay, and he's going to walk back. But Willingham picking up an RBI here, his 26th of the year. The throw a little bit in the foul territory side. You can see Arcia coming in, getting that hand across the bag before the tag can be applied.
So, yeah, better throw by Kiermaier, and Oswaldo Arcia might be thrown out with the Twins down. But again, that slide that we see so often now, where the initial part of the body ends up in foul territory. Loney steps on the bag, and Willingham thrown out at second. Escobar hit a 1-hopper to Loney, who found the bag and threw over Willingham's left shoulder for a peculiar double play. The Twins get on the board with Arcia making it a 3-1 game. last week. Which moment is your favorite? Yoenis Cespedes' home run derby win, a successful repeat. Derek Jeter's all-star farewell. Or Glenn Perkins and Kurt Suzuki closing out an American League win here at Target Field.
I like that one there.
You can't vote because you're a Twins employee. Log on to Fox Sports North's Facebook page to vote or tweet your pick with hashtag Big Moments on Twitter. Just think how life would be different for Twins fans if we could vote for these things. Foul ball.
You know what? I like that one there with Perkins and Suzuki finishing it, but how could you not vote for Derek Jeter? The applause that he got was unbelievable.
Yeah. And the only reason you wouldn't vote for Suzuki and Perkins would be the possibility that they might have a chance to do that again sometime. And of course we won't see Derek Jeter in an all-star game again. One strike to Longoria.
Well, Correa needs a clean inning right here. Good breaking ball down and away.
It's been an inconsistent curveball for him today, but it's been a swing and a miss pitch for him too.
When he can get it down and away. Seen a couple that he looked like they slipped out of that right hand of his.
2 strikes.
He's ahead in the count.
This one hit to left. It'll be chased by Willingham.
He left that curveball up.
To no avail, and it'll roll to the wall, and Longoria to second with another leadoff double.
Yeah, head in the count. You want to drop that curveball just on the other side of home plate and let your catcher block it, but Correa came back with another curveball, and it was a hanger.
Remember in his first at bat, he threw him 3 or 4 breaking balls, and Longoria finally caught up with one.
Yep. I think that bothered me most of anything when you're ahead in the count and then you know what you want to do. Kevin Correa wanted to drop that curveball down. You can see the disgust right there. But he left it up. Longoria took advantage of it with his 15th double of the year.
And now James Loney drove in the first 2 runs with a single to right in the first inning. Strike on the outside corner. One and one.
So many people talking about, here we are in late July. Who's going to be traded? Are there buyers out there? Are there sellers? Is Kevin Correa on the market? He's a free agent at the end of the year. Has been pitching well coming into this outing. 6 of his last 7 starts, quality starts. Josh Willingham's name has been mentioned. Kurt Suzuki's name has been mentioned.
2-1 to James Loney. Another base hit for Loney. Fold charges and he flips it back to the infield quickly. The Twins have asked Fold to kind of modify that approach. Fold, a very intelligent player, and he knows what third base coaches are instructed to do. So we've seen it done to the extreme a couple of times. Fold slid on the seat of his pants here the other day and returned the ball to the infield before he stopped sliding after a catch.
You see Sam Fold come charging in right there, and then got it back in quickly.
Ready now, here we go.
First and third, nobody out, and more crunch time for Kevin Correa. He got Geyer to reach on a fielder's choice.
Yeah,
tried to put down a bunt, and Correa made a nice play.
Loney now with that base hit again. 3 hits here on Friday, 2 yesterday, 2 here today so far. Now 23 for 65 lifetime against the Twins. About a .350 batting average.
And I'm guessing there's been a extra base hit or 2 in there, but here in this series they've all been singles. 1 strike on a check swing. Swing and a miss. Now this is essentially the same situation or similar to the situation Geyer had in the first inning with the Rays up 2-0. The difference is Matt Joyce was the runner at third in the first, and a much slower runner, Longoria, is the runner here in the third inning. Plus, the safety squeeze didn't work in the first. 1-2.
Geyer came from the Cubs along with Chris Archer in the Matt Garza trade back in January of 2011.
Fouled away.
Geyer spent some time on a disabled list this year back in late May. Fractured left thumb, activated in the middle of June.
And Correa gets a strikeout for the first out of the third inning.
His first strikeout of the ball game, and a big one.
We'll bring up Escobar.
Well, after a lot of breaking balls, looks like he went with a fastball middle in and threw it past Geyer.
Now Escobar, and it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag NorthFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Escobar with a fly to center to end the first inning. Just got a run in the bottom of the second. They can ill afford to give that run or more back in the fourth. Or third, rather. Up high, ball one. Inside. Ordinarily, if you're the Rays and you're tied for last, still 7 games below the 500 mark, haven't played well at home, haven't played well within the division, and you'd say, well, this is the American League East, we'll be sellers and hope to get something back in return. But this is not a normal year in the American League East. On the outside corner. The East, the softest it has been in quite some time. And look at the American League East standings. The Orioles 10 games above, and everybody else just 1 series away from dipping below the 500 mark if they're not already there. Check swing. And a ball, 3-1. Casale on deck. So if you're Andrew Friedman, he runs the baseball department in Tampa Bay, you tend to want to hold onto your cards a little bit longer before you start trading people off. Popped up. And Morales comes near the dugout, but it's a couple rows back. In the East this year alone, saw the Toronto Blue Jays jump out in front, and then they fell back to 500. And if something similar were to happen to the Orioles, and it could very well happen to the Orioles, well, then you're looking at maybe 85 to 90 wins winning the division.
That's why I think you talked to Joe Madden, and I did. You know, he feels that if they play good baseball like they have over the last 2 or 3 weeks, that they're going to get back into this thing.
Full count with 1 away. Runner at first goes, and the pitch doinked down the line, and that's going to land in fair territory. It may score 2. Loney will be held at third on a flare double down the right field line, and the Rays lead by 3 again.
Yeah, Escobar just flaring that ball and kind of jamming himself, but getting it out toward that right field area, right down the line. A double, his 12th double of the year, driving in his 23rd run.
The type of hit you give up if you leave a pitch up in the zone.
The Twins got an unearned run in the bottom of the second, but the Rays will come right back and get a run here.
3 more hits, 7 already against Correa. Twins will bring the infield partway in here with Casale at the plate. Loney does not run particularly well. It's one of the reasons he was held at third base. And it's also why the Twins here don't have to bring the infield into the edge of the grass. Strike one.
Casale in his first at bat hit a line drive to Nunez at third base. Just in his second major league game, just getting called up. Picked up a hit here in his first major league at bat on Friday night.
There's that swing and a miss pitch again, that curveball. Samuel Deduno warming up for the Twins. Twins generally don't like to do that unless they've pretty much made the decision he is going to pitch. So Correa hoping to get through the third, and then we might see Deduno continue to pitch and warm up down in the bullpen. Nice block again by Fryer.
Yeah, Correa has not been sharp at all. Correa's shortest start of the year came back here against the Tigers back in late April. He went 2 1/3 innings against the Tigers. Twins lost that game 10-6.
Foul back. Still only one out in the inning and a chance here for the Rays to break it open. 2 runs in the first, another in the second, 1 so far here in the third. Correa may go back to that swing and a miss curveball to try to pick up a strikeout here. Fastball got the corner.
That's kind of the way he struck out Geyer. He went back to the fastball middle in, and Casale may be looking for something else right there. So second strikeout for Correa, both of them this inning.
And now Kiermaier broke his bat, dumped a single into left, later scored in the second inning. Fastball high and tight.
Oh, with Will Myers on a disabled list, Kiermaier getting an opportunity to get some playing time and taking advantage of it.
Want to know. Now 2-0, and Correa wants a different baseball.
.64 pitches, 38 strikes for Kevin Correa. A couple walks, couple strikeouts. Rays have 7 hits already.
Been a couple of walks, which is uncharacteristic of Correa. Those came in the first inning. A balk, an error. 3-0 to the number 9 batter with Desmond Jennings ready to hit next, and Jennings already has 2 hits in the ball game against Correa.
I think Gardy said go ahead and walk him, which Fryer is now putting the glove out. Intentional walk here.
Jennings has had a productive and destructive day at the plate already. Rick Anderson to the mound. It's just a matter of trying to start over with a fresh count. Different hitter and a fresh count. Quick trip to the mound. Second such trip for Rick Anderson here in the first 3 innings.
We've seen this far too often this year, again, by the starting staff. Very inconsistent. They come in with a combined ERA at 4.93. Only the Texas Rangers ERA is higher. It's still
You're
part
talking
of the
about the
starting
starters,
staff,
right? Bases loaded, 2 away. And ball 1. The pitching staff coming into the game had an ERA of 4.29, a full half run. That's not a contradiction in terms. A half run higher than Tampa Bay's team ERA. Busted bat. And a ball hit right at Sam Fuld, and that ends the inning. One more for the Rays. They've left 6 on and have scored 4.
By Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealers today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here.
Twins have won just 2 of the last 9 games at Target Field. Correa and Rick Anderson.
Just like Rick almost said, trust your fastball. A lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of breaking balls that he was all over the place. Frustration of Kevin Correa.
Eric Fryer will lead off the 3rd. Twins will try to chip away at this 3-run Rays lead.
Take a look at this right here off the bat at Jennings. Look at that bat, just
awful.
That is awesome. Great job of camera crew.
Very bad job by the bat maker. That's terrible bat making right there. Bat shouldn't break like that. It's a maple bat.
Well, it's probably the same bat that Jennings got the double and the base hit on.
1-1 to Fryer. And now 2-1. I mean, when I was a kid, I've told this story before, we ended up playing baseball with the old broken bats from the town team. And, the bat would crack, and we'd beg for it after the game, and you'd take a couple of those little nails,
right?
And you pound it into the handle.
That's a bat you could have done that with.
No, you couldn't. It was. What would you do with that bat? You couldn't.
Well, you could nail that.
You'd have.
Oh yeah.
They don't make Gorilla Glue good enough to put that bat back together. 2-2 to Fryer. Tap and a foul ball. But then you nailed the thing together. Then you got electrician's tape and you wrapped it around the handle.
As good as new.
And then If you were me, you choked up all the way up to the trademark because you couldn't swing the heavy thing.
The 30-ounce bat.
2-2. Fryer, Fold, and Dozier trying to make some noise here in the third. Off the plate, 3-2.
Fryer getting called up on June 13th when the Twins sent Pinto down to AAA Rochester.
Chopper in front of Longoria, foul. Mentioned the Twins struggling at home right now. A couple homestands ago, they swept the White Sox in a 4-game series, and then they had a bad series here against the Royals, bad series against the Yankees, and this has already been a bad series, even if they come back and win this game.
Starting tomorrow, Cleveland coming in for a 3-game series, and they've been playing very good baseball.
Won the first 3 against Detroit, although the Tigers have a 4-0 lead in the 6th inning this afternoon in the finale there. Well, Fryer didn't make any noise, but he'll go to first with a walk.
First walk for Archer.
Leadoff man is on. Twins season ticket holders enjoy 10% off concessions and merchandise at Target Field. 2014 season tickets remain available for the balance of the year. You can call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and find out how you can join the Twins season ticket family to take advantage of this and other perks all season ticket holders qualify for at Target Field. Sam Fold. Strike one. Archer's numbers include walks are just a little bit higher than they should be, and now the Twins will try to take advantage of the leadoff walk here in the third. That just missed the inside edge. 1-1. Both pitch. Right under the mask of home plate umpire Gabe Morales.
Gabe Morales, a call-up umpire.
Speed pitch bends over, and it's 1-2. On the road trip, when the Twins won 5 of the 7 games in Seattle and Colorado, Fold was on base just about every time he came up, minimum 3 times a game through the road trip. Taking inside, trying to roll the lineup over here and have some men on base for Dozier, so on and so forth.
Hey, he's hit in 12 of his last 14 games, hitting .429, 18 hits in 42 at-bats.
Checked his swing. And strike 3. Fold dejectedly walking back to the dugout, 1 away on a breaking pitch in the dirt.
Yeah, the curveball down and in. Caselli did a good job of getting this ball on one hop. Fold. Did he go?
Ooh,
very close. Mike DeMiro, the third base umpire, said he did.
And now Dozier hit a bouncer to short. With a runner on, the Rays won't shift Dozier as extremely as they did in the first. And a breaking ball over a strike.
David Price did a great job last night. I believe 22 first pitch strikes of 28 batters. Archer following suit, 9 of 10 first pitch strikes.
Pulled to third. Longoria quickly to second, and a safe at first. Near double play. Longoria might be the league's best And what he just did, a quick release after fielding the ground ball, and it seems like every throw is on target.
Yeah, he had to step back one time, because he didn't want to charge that ball, maybe get that short hop. We saw Trevor Plouffe do that last night as he steps in front of the ball and then getting that ball over to second base. And a good throw right on the chest of Ben Zobrist. And Dozier just beat it out.
Third time today, Joe Maddon's come out of the dugout to talk to umpires. First two meetings didn't last very long. I don't think this one will either, because I think the replay showed that Dozier beat the relay. So the third time, not the charm. Maddon just out there stalling for the video review in the Rays clubhouse. The inning continues. 2 down. Dozier at first. And Nunez at the plate. Haven't seen Dozier try to steal much lately, and I know the Twins are down by 3 runs, but I think if you're going to beat Joe Maddon's team, you need to beat them at their game, which is to be aggressive in all situations.
Well, clubs have run against Archer, 9 stolen bases in 13 attempts.
Not on the first pitch. Casali scoops it. Ball 1. Dozier 16-21 in stolen bases. Both the home run pace and the stolen base pace have slowed. When it looked for a while like Dozier might be able to finish off a 30-30 season for the first time in Twins history. It's a slider, breaking pitch over for a strike. 1-1.
Now Archer not real quick home. He has a little bit of hesitation when he lifts that left foot up. Brings that knee to about the belt area. No slide step. Not yet anyway.
Very high 2-1. Nunez has some pop, but he has just 6 extra base hits among the 29 hits that he's collected. So if Dozier feels like he can take second base and get into scoring position with 2 outs, a single would very likely bring him in. A single to the outfield. The Rays have for years been one of the best base running teams in the game. Joe Maddon, coming out of Mike Scioscia's coaching staff with the Angels, and when the Angels have been good, they're a very good base running team.
Well, you have to have the athletes to be able to do that. We saw Killmeyer, and go from first to third on a hard hit ball to center field.
2-1. Dozier stays put, and a ball bounced to the third baseman Longoria, and that ends the inning. Twins get a leadoff walk, leave 1. It's 4-1 after 3. 4-1 heading to the 4th inning. Our Sanford Health injury report. Switch over to the National League. Troy Tulowitzki, who had a great series against the Twins last weekend, not on the lineup today. A left thigh cramp suffered yesterday. And Yasiel Puig, who was here both in the Home Run Derby and the All-Star game, hit by a pitch, not in the lineup for the Dodgers. And now Ben Zobrist, Ben Zobrist will lead off the 4th inning. Strike one. Zobrist, Joyce, and Longoria facing Kevin Correa, who needs to find something fast. 1-1. Well, it just seems like it's hardly ever happened where Correa has thrown back-to-back strikes. 70 pitches, 40 strikes, so he certainly has done that, but a lot of those strikes have also been put in play. Foul back, 1-2.
Sometimes when you're out there as a starter, you end up fighting yourself, and I think that's what Correa, you could kind of see his conversation with Rick Anderson about saying, just kind of, just not there. But you have to keep battling. And again, everything keys off that fastball. You have to go out there and hit your spots with the fastball and then mix in other pitches.
1-2.
It seemed like a lot of breaking balls, change-ups. But the location of the fastball, he's missed with.
Curve in the dirt. Well, remember back in the 1st inning, he committed a balk. He had runners at 1st and 2nd, and he was ready to deliver a pitch from the windup. So, like, he's preoccupied with something and thinking about mechanics, perhaps, whatever. 2-2.
Hate to say this, sometimes you overthink out there. You have to trust your stuff and just keep it down, and hopefully when they make contact, they hit it to somebody like this.
Willingham near the line makes the catch, 1 away. Carsoup.com trivia time on a beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Target Field since 2008. How many? We're looking for a number now. Major league teams have more wins than the Rays. And we're offering extra credit if you can name the teams. But right now the question, just asking for a number. And when we have a question like that,
I love extra credit.
We each get a plus or minus of 2.
I always beg my teachers in school for extra credit.
So if you took the number 3, we would be covered from 1 through 5.
Okay.
And then I'll take the number 8. And then we'd be covered 6 through 10.
I think we got it. I'll take 3.
I'll take 8.
Why don't you take 8? Very good.
And I'm not going to bother with the extra credit.
We got this.
The easy answer, I suppose, would be fellow division rivals, the Yankees and the Red Sox. But I mean, we made a lot of the Twins' worst to first finish in 90 and 91 here. Red Sox might be on the verge of going worst to first to worst.
I kind of like Oakland.
Yeah, that might be. Pitches up 2 and 1.
I'm going to work on the extra credit.
All right.
I need it.
Do you need it?
I always needed extra credit.
And now 3 and 1. 2 walks and 3 walks rather, and a couple of other 3-ball counts.
Yeah, 1 intentional walk of the 3. Joyce in his 6th season with the Rays, originally with the Detroit Tigers.
Hit a long way, very foul. Strike 2.
Joyce grew up in the Tampa Bay area, so he gets a chance to play at home in front of his family and friends.
Got him. Clipped the inside corner. 2 away.
Yeah, not the fastball. Took a little off right there. Clocked at 86, 87 mile an hour. And Correa picking up his 3rd strikeout. Second called 3rd strike.
And now Longoria. Doubled and scored in the 3rd. Up and in.
A lot of off-speed pitches to Longoria. Remember, he led off the 3rd inning. Correa was ahead 0-2 and then left the curveball up, and Longoria took advantage of it and hit the double.
And we've talked about the base running of the Rays and the athleticism. And Longoria is almost the anti-Ray. He's their franchise player, but he's had hamstring issues and leg issues, was never the speediest player to begin with. But he is surrounded by so many speedy runners. Tapper foul. 1-2.
Longoria in his 7th season with the Rays. American League Rookie of the Year back in 2008. 3-time All-Star.
The Rays are paying him a lot of money, but Longoria buying into what Joe Madden has done with the Rays to the point where he's committed his entire career with contract extensions that have been signed. 2-2. Now a full count. Another 3-ball count for Correa. 6 of them on the afternoon. Loney on deck. Fouled away. Catch by the fan here.
Oh, perfect. Right in the glove. Nice going, young man.
Guessing the RF River Falls, maybe. Another one coming back. Now, he didn't one-hand that, did he?
Yes, he did.
Without a glove.
Without a glove.
How about that? Who needs a glove?
Right to the right of us here.
Terry Ryan peering out of the booth, looking for some good hands. Always looking for good middle infielders. Well, maybe not. 3-2 to Longoria. We'll see if somebody can catch that one. Tough act to follow. Another 3-2 coming. Already the 88th pitch for Correa with 2 outs in the 4th. Foley didn't want to try to make a good fielding play on that ground ball. We haven't had one up here now for what, a couple years? Foul ball?
It's been a while, yeah.
That was kind of headed back our way. Hit the screen.
Long battle right here between Correa and Longoria. Correa trying to get the final out here in the 4th inning.
5 2-strike fouls in this at bat. checked his swing, and another foul ball. Three and two. Got him with a high fastball. Finally, Correa puts Longoria away. It is 4-1. Stay tuned for this important message from Mesh Becher and Spence. Can you bike on the Lake Wobegon Trail in central Minnesota, one of the 66 rail-to-trail multi-use trails in the state? Visit exploreminnesota.com. Discover a world that's only in Minnesota. Post your experiences to #OnlyInMN. PedalMN.com is the go-to resource for bicyclists interested in all of the bike-friendly events, routes, and trails across the state. You a biker as an adult? I know you were as a kid. You had a paper route. You had to ride it.
Yeah, well, you know, where we moved, there's a nice bike trail down in Florida, so I ride my bike quite often.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Good. There's a high fly to center field. Bluth retired in one.
Well, I go with my granddaughter. We both have pink bikes. We both have baskets, and we both had little bells.
Good.
Yeah.
Just yours is a little bigger than hers.
Yeah. People yell at me, "Hey, Pee Wee Herman!" I wave to them.
You've been called worse.
Yes, I have. Believe me.
By me.
Yes.
One down in the fourth. Kendrys Morales will hit. Boston hoping to complete a sweep of the Royals, 6-0 in the sixth inning at Fenway. Royals line up again, shooting blanks. Up high, ball one.
Well, they got hot there for a while, and they've just cooled off.
But that's been their history. You know, they following the Royals through the internet and all that, they were counting on a really good second half. They did that the last couple of years, played much better in the second half. But you know, whatever has ailed you in the first half, unless you take definite steps to cure it, it can come back and ail you in the second half. And some guys who should be in the prime of their careers and they're not hitting. 2-0. Morales says he scalds one toward the gap. He might actually get an extra base hit here. And it's Morales into second with a solid double with one out of the fourth. We've seen him as he's picked up one or more hits per game for the last week and a half, using the whole field, which was his strength when he was with the Angels.
Yeah, now on a 10-game hitting streak, that fastball, a little sink down and away. Good piece of hitting, just hitting it sharply the other way. For Morales, his 11th double comes with one out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. stand-up double at that.
And now Arcia taking a strike.
Second hit for the Twins.
Arcia reached on an error. He had a nubber back to the mound, and Archer threw it into the ground toward first base. 65 at bats now for Arcia without a home run. Twins have some long homerless streaks. Suzuki 156 at bats.
Well, his last home run coming June 25th in Anaheim off of Garrett Richards.
Check this swing, 2-1. Morales with 88 at bats without a home run. Willingham, the on-deck hitter, only 30 at bats without a home run, but it's been a longer stretch than it sounds because he hasn't been in the lineup every day. 2-1 to Arcia.
And again, Archer has been tough to hit a home run against, so the Twins need maybe a base hit right here.
And Arcia cuts loose. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Last year in his rookie season struck out about once every 3 times. That's been his rate this year. 3-2.
He played 97 ball games. He hit .251, 14 home runs, drove in 43.
Arcia with just 16 walks in 172 at bats.
You can take the strikeouts as long as the production as far as home runs and runs batted in are there, but they're really not there for Arcia yet this year.
After a high fastball, and Arcia strikes out number 2.
Archer picking up his second strikeout.
Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportsupports.com. Archer going upstairs where a lot of pitchers have gone to strike out Arcia. 2 down, and now Willingham. Singled in a run. Pushing one through the right side of the infield. Drilled to Longoria. Willingham tees off. It's a screaming rocket to end the inning. The Twins leave Morales at second base.
The Twins legend is 76 years old today and continues to mean so much to the Twins. He's actually working the Spanish radio broadcast today, but he does still spend a lot of time mentoring the young Latino players for the Twins year after year. And earlier today, I asked Ron Gardenhire about Tony. He said one of the greatest injustices in baseball is the fact that Tony Oliva is not in the Hall of Fame. Of course, he's in the Twins Hall of Fame, but Gardy also said for as great of a player as Tonio is, he's an even better person. And I know we all can vouch for that here at Fox Sports North. So happy birthday to Tonio.
Yes, happy birthday, T.O.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Tony turning 76 today, and I'm happy to report that his memory is perfect. I went up to Tony as you look at Samuel DeDuno's numbers coming into the ballgame for the 21st time. I asked Tony before he was getting set to broadcast today's game as well. I said, any birthday baseball memories? And he said, no. Yes, there is one, he said. In his final year of playing in 1976, he was a player coach for the Twins. And he wasn't supposed to play on his birthday, but the manager, Gene Mauch, put him in. And Tony says he remembers it because Gene Mauch hit him 8th in the batting order. Down and in, ball 1. And Tony said it was one of the worst days of his career to be batting 8th. I said, well, Tony, who did they have that were 7 better than? He said, no one. Nobody. And Mark the Bird Fidrich was the starter for the Tigers. It was in Bloomington at Met Stadium, 1-0 to Loney. 2-0. And Tony says as he remembered it, he got 4 hits. He went 4 for 4 that day. And afterwards, after the 4th hit over the first base bag, Fidrich came over to shake his hand, which, from what I remember about Fidrich, that was entirely possible. Right?
Yes.
3-0. And then Fidrich said, I want to ask you, how can I get you out next year? And Tony said he didn't have the heart to tell him that this was his last year. So we looked it up on the internet. You can do that now. And Tony's memory was perfect. He did go 4 for 4 against Mark Fidrich, who gave up 10 hits that day, 4 of them to an 8th place hitter named Tony Oliva. Not the way DeDuno wanted to start his afternoon, a 4-pitch walk to Loney.
You know, DeDuno was taken out of the starting rotation back in the middle of June, and since then, of course, he's out of that bullpen. This is his 6th relief appearance since then. He's worked 13 2/3 innings, has not given up any runs, only 6 hits, now 3 walks with 12 strikeouts. See if he can get a double play ball right here. Been able to get 9 double plays turned behind him. Of course, his fastball moves all over the place.
There's a strike. Now, you had been traded to the Rangers. Did you ever have to pitch to Tony?
Oh, one time. One pitch. He was looking fastball. I threw him a curveball. He grounded out to short, and he screamed at me all the way down the line. Challenge somebody.
Now, did he say it in English, in Spanish,
or
in
Spanish? I understood exactly what he meant.
2 strikes. And the Geyer turns around in disbelief. Well, it's one of my favorite fantasy camp stories. I got to pitch to Tony. I think it was the last year he actually swung a bat in the fantasy camp, and I stood on the mound with my knees shaking. Tony's were shaking too, but it was for a different reason. And he proceeded to one-hop the wall in right center field and legged out a single. 2 strikes. Breaking ball got him. Nothing but balls to Loney and nothing but strikes to Geyer. There, in its essence, is Samuel DeDuno.
There's we watch Geyer's reaction. If we're going to show this back, he kind of buckled it a little bit. Watch his reaction on this curveball. Kind of gave up on it. It was a good curveball middle in. So DeDuno picks up a strikeout. Kevin Correa worked the first 4 innings. He gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 1 intentional, 4 strikeouts.
Yunel Escobar drove in a run with a double his last time. Now Dozier can't flag it down. A hot ground ball into right field. And Loney checks in at second.
Escobar gets his second hit of the ball game.
And now Kurt Casale. To me, if I was a hitter and I was watching DeDuno, once I became convinced he can throw strikes, I would do exactly what Escobar just did. Swing early on a fastball, put it in place so you don't have to face what will inevitably follow from DeDuno, which is a seemingly unhittable curveball. Foul back and right beneath us.
But even that pitch that Escobar hit, credit him for going the other way with it, because DeDuno's fastball has so much movement on it.
Very little range shown by the former Twins outfielder in the booth next to us.
And the ball over the head. Casale. Well, try standing on the mound and having them in left field. It's the same thing.
But I mean, all it would have taken was just a simple reach.
That's a lot of times that I thought, when a ball was hit his way.
All it would take is a ladder and a jump.
Just move.
Yeah. 1-1. And now over the inside corner, 1-2.
One over his head and then the curveball inside.
Well, he's thrown 12 pitches, 7 strikes, and that's about his ratio. But now you're up there with 2 strikes and a pretty good bet that he's going to get another look at a curveball. He manages to make contact. Casale drew a lot of praise from Joe Madden and the field staff for the Rays after his major league debut here on Friday. Got a hit, scored a run. That was all well and good, but they thought he looked very composed and in control of things in his first game behind the plate.
He started the season in Double-A, moved up to Triple-A, and with Ryan Hannigan on the disabled list, Casale gets an opportunity here.
Eric Fryer's pretty good at what he just did. That ball landed a foot in front of the left-handed batter's box, and with runners at first and second, a perfect block.
Yeah, watch him use that chest protector right here, deadening the ball, and keep the runners at first and second. Look where that ball landed.
Two and two. And there's another curveball for a called third strike. 2 down. DeDuno trying to pitch around the leadoff walk, the 1-out single, now pitching to the number 9 batter.
Well, such tight rotation on that curveball. Box tracks, upper strike zone.
Now that one, maybe a quicker breaking pitch, thrown for a strike without men on base. A lot of times he'll get a swinging strikeout on a bigger curve, slower in the dirt. And he shaves the outside corner with that slower one.
But I don't think he can really control that. I think he just lets it go.
You know, at some point, as much as the Twins, Rick Anderson, and everybody's worked with them, you have to resign yourself to the fact that it is what it is. And now, fastball on the outside corner, 0-2.
Tell you what, he's done very well in the bullpen. The Twins tried starting him. It just didn't work. In 8 starts, he was 2-4 in ERA over 6. But out of the bullpen, he has been very consistent.
Front runner goes, and it's kicks away from the catcher. And now both runners will advance. Now, Fryer went over and picked the ball up. But had he just let it roll into the dugout, nothing worse could have happened. In other words, if the ball rolls into the dugout, it's one base.
Yeah, Loney took off with the delivery home.
But now, and I need to clarify that since I brought it up, if the runner had already reached third base, he would then be awarded an extra base.
One more base.
I didn't. Yeah, right. So Fryer did a good job in getting that ball before it ran into the dugout. That's one of the worst swings you'll see all year. DeDuno strikes out the side and leaves 2 men in scoring position. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay, hoping to sweep the Twins here in the middle innings. The Twins within range, but they need to start doing something against Chris Archer. The Rays have scored 4 times. They have a 3-run lead, but they left 8 men on through 5 innings.
And a pitch count very good for Archer. 50 pitches in 4 innings. Able to get ahead of 11 of 15 first pitch strikes.
And now Escobar bounced into a double play on the first pitch he saw in the 2nd inning. The Twins had just scored a run on a Walt Willingham single. Escobar, Fryer, and Fuld. Bottom third of the Twins lineup. And now ground ball single to right. Escobar hit his ground ball to Loney rather sharply, but Loney, good fielding first baseman, was able to turn it into a double play. Leadoff single for the Twins shortstop. Set your compass due north Thursday nights on Fox Sports North. Join host Bill Shirk and Laura Schara as they take a look at the stories and adventures of outdoor enthusiasts in the upper Midwest. Due North Outdoors, Thursdays at 6, only on Fox Sports North. I don't need to watch that show because I proved again on Wednesday that I can outfish my daughter. Nice stop by Casale on a check swing. Ball 1.
How many did you catch?
Well, it's not how many. It's
okay. So you got big. 1 and Hannah got nothing.
No, she caught one. It's
okay.
just I outdid her by at least 3/4 of an inch. And I got pictures to prove them. 1-0. High and tight 2-0. Fryer worked a walk in the 3rd inning. And now here comes Jim Hickey.
Yeah, first trip that Jim Hickey has had to make to the mound here in this 3-game series. And Hickey doing all the talking.
2-0 to Fryer. He's hoping to string some things together. They took advantage of an Archer error to score a run in the second. Now up high 3-0. Archer's not pitched as well lately as he did in the first 2 months of the year, so there is that, but he's not given the Twins much of anything here into the 5th inning. And a 4-pitch walk, second time that he's walked catcher Eric Fryer. Now the Twins have to underline it, highlight it, whatever. They have to get something out of this.
Yes, they do.
Most of this is good news as we bring you the minor league player of the week. Byron Buxton had a tremendous week, 12 for 24. A couple of home runs, a triple, 8 runs, 4 runs batted in. He's at high A in Fort Myers, but Buxton hasn't played since being hit by a pitch Friday night. He's not in the lineup again today. That hit in the wrist. Here is Fold. Strike one. Fold called out on a check swing. His first time up. Drifts away, 1-1. Archer gave up 5 runs in his last start before the break to the Blue Jays. One and one. 2-1.
Archer making his 3rd career start against the Twins. He came in 12 innings pitched in the first 2 starts, and the Twins have yet to score an earned run off of him. The run that the Twins scored in the second, an unearned run, thanks to his throwing error and Willingham's RBI single.
There's a bunt, and Archer will get another chance to throw to first. This one on target. 2 runners move up. Fold will get credit for a sacrifice, getting Escobar and Fryer into scoring position.
Yeah, that ball a little bit toward the pitcher's mound. If Sam Fold could have laid that down toward third base, more of that on the grass, may have gotten an infield base hit. But Archer jumped off the mound, got the out at first base. Both runners advance. We'll see if Brian Dozier can knock in a couple runs here.
Top RBI man on the team, and he will try to come through here to get the Twins right back into the game. Check swing, ball 1. Dozier on the day, a bouncer to short, and the ground ball to third. Breaking ball over with Dozier backing out of the way. Might be able to hear in our field microphones the wind that's really howling in from the right field plaza. For a pull hitter like Dozier, if anything, that might actually help a ball out toward left field. Outside, 2-1. No activity in the Tampa Bay pen, just 63 pitches for Archer. Twins in position here to close the gap with 1 out in the 5th. Popped up near first base, and Aloney has room out number 2. Going to leave this opportunity in the hands of Eduardo Nunez.
Yeah, it looked like a fastball up, and Bryant just got underneath it and popped it straight up.
Nunez 0 for 2, a fly to right and a bouncer to third. You've given away an out in the sacrifice bunt. in the hopes of getting at least one here this inning, and it's likely going to take a 2-out hit from Nunez to get anything done here. Breaking ball over, strike one.
This breaking ball must be hard to pick up because even Dozier kind of backed off a little bit like Nunez did right there.
Tapper foul, 2 quick strikes. Single and a walk started the inning. A sacrifice bunt moved 2 runners into scoring position. Dozier with a foul out, and now 2 strikes to Nunez. High, 1-2. Joe Nathan gave up 3 runs in the 9th last night, allowing the Indians to sweep the doubleheader. Nathan came into the 9th tonight. Non-save situation, but the Tigers won the final game 5-1 over Cleveland. 1-2. Missed the outside corner with a fastball. Breaking ball and fouled it back. Almost hung too much. Can you hang a ball too much?
Yeah, that ball kind of spun right there, and Nunez just got underneath it.
Two and two. Rays have gotten some big hits in this series with 2 outs. Twins hoping to get their first meaningful one here in this at bat. Bouncer to short, slowly to Escobar. That takes care of it. A hit and a walk start the inning. Nothing across, and it's still 4-1.
Inside the Minnesota Lottery Winners Circle, and I'm Jamie Hirsch. We already mentioned today's a special day because it's Tony Oliva's birthday, but it is also Alice's birthday, and you've got a few years on Tonio. 82 years young today is Alice, and I understand you're here with a lot of family.
Yes, we do. We have 4 generations here today.
That's absolutely amazing. This is her first Twins game ever, but I understand you don't miss a Twins game either, right? You don't miss them on TV.
Not at all. I give up a lot of things just to watch the Twins.
Well, we thank you for watching. We're going to give you $100 worth of scratch-offs to the Minnesota Lottery. Enjoy this special day at Target Field.
Well, thank you very much. And we're not very far away from Dick's hometown of Dumont either.
That's right. She's from Clinton, Dick. How about that?
Oh, got great memories of Clinton, Minnesota. Their town team used to play in our backyard. The town team field was in our backyard, and
very nice.
We always consider Clinton, of course, to be a suburb of Dumont.
Well, Alice, happy birthday to you, and that's awesome. You know, what a way to spend your birthday, and 4 generations here to help Alice celebrate her birthday. Samuel Deduno starting his second inning of relief. 19 pitches in that first inning. Struck out the side.
Inside, 2-1. Clinton, Minnesota, by the way, about 10 miles south of Graceville, which is Tom Kelly's birthplace, out in the western part of the state. 2-1. Twins misfired in their 5th inning rally. Deduno will try to pitch some more scoreless innings and a good start. Nice catch and a little soft toss to Morales. 1 down. All right, how many teams? I had 8, give or take 2.
I had 3.
1. We just barely got it covered, but we got it covered, and it was the Yankees. Yeah. And Oakland's nowhere on that list. So we narrowly qualified for a correct answer there.
Ding, 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 ding.
Morales, Zobrist, the hitter here with 1 out. Zobrist on the day, a walk, a sacrifice fly, and a fly to left. And outside 2-0. You relieve in the postseason for the Pirates?
Yes, game 5. Got the win in that ball game. Then we went to Baltimore and won the next 2. We were down 3-1.
Zobrist fouls it off a leg. But now, did you enter the game at the start of an inning like the Twins tried to do with Deduno? Okay.
I started the 6th inning and then pitched the final 4. Jim Rooker pitched the first 5. We were down 1-0, and then our offense all of a sudden came to life a little bit. And we ended up winning 7-1.
2-1 to Zobrist.
I was just looking at Deduno. Deduno did make a relief appearance in Tampa back on April 22nd in relief of Kyle Gibson, and he pitched 4 shutout innings in that ball game.
Tattooed to center. And that gets to fold in a hurry. 2 down. Now Joyce. Come on down, see the Twins game August 15th from Dozier's Deck. The special offer including a Skyline deck seat plus a limited edition Brian Dozier camo t-shirt, all for just $35. Portion of the proceeds benefit Pheasants Forever wildlife habitat conservation efforts. And you can call 833-TWINS, ask for the special Dozier's Deck ticket offer, or visit twinsbaseball.com/Dozier-Deck for tickets.
Yeah, very nice promotion and fundraiser.
Pheasants Forever, a great organization, particularly for those of us who love pheasant hunting. 1 strike. Out of the right field corner, and Joyce will hustle for what he hopes to be an extra base hit. He'll get there. And it's a 2-out double for Matt Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce picking up his first hit, second hit that Duno has allowed, and Joyce just jumped all over that high fastball. Quick hands. Drove it right into that right field corner. Opened up quickly. And Joyce gets his 18th double of the year. And for the Rays, their 9th hit.
And now Longoria. Double and a run scored in his second at bat. And DeDuno snaps a curveball over.
DeDuno, 31 years old, from the Dominican Republic.
Runner will try to advance, and Fryer was ready to pull the trigger on a throw, and it looked like he might have lost his foot.
Well, I think he kind of held up. He realized that Joyce was going to get there. He didn't want to throw that ball into left field.
Now they're claiming a foul tip here, I believe, and they're sending the runner back to second base. I think on the follow through. I don't think that the contact was made on the initial swing, but I think on his follow through.
He hit the arm of Fryer.
So they're calling
dead ball, I guess, and Joyce has to go back.
2 strikes to Longoria, who's seen 2 curveballs from DeDuno. Third one is hammered. And the Twins have been going at Longoria with breaking pitches, and eventually he's caught up with 2 of them.
It's the same thing that happened against Correa in the 3rd inning. Correa got ahead of him with a couple breaking balls, then hung the 0-2 pitch, and that's exactly what DeDuno did. Ahead in the count, goes back to that curveball, but left it middle in, and Longoria, for the second time, has hit an 0-2 pitch down that left field line. This time he picks up an RBI, his 48th of the year, on his 16th double of the year.
Twins have been out hit now 10-3. They trail it 5-1, and Maloney has been a singles machine in this series. He's reached all 3 times today with 2 singles and a walk. Fastball mishandled by Fryer. Ball 1.
First run that DeDuno has allowed in relief over the last 15 innings. Covering 6 outings.
There's a breaking pitch with some bite to it. A called strike. Outside corner.
The changeup right there. Good spot.
34 pitches, 23 strikes. But an insurance run here for the Rays in the 6th. Just missed the outside corner. Fryer setting up inside. Caught it over the outside edge.
I think DeDuno stepped toward the dugout. He thought this was a strike. Well, so did Foxtrot's.
Plenty of the plate, but nowhere near the target set up by the catcher. Popped up center field. Now drifting towards left. It's still full with the call on the catch. And that ends the top of the 6th. It's 5-1 Tampa Bay. Yes. Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. For the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Stop in all summer for a cool, refreshing McCafe iced coffee. Starting at just $1.59. And more of the same with the Rays comfortably in front of the Twins, 5-1, bottom of the sixth. Cleanup hitter, or third place hitter, Trevor Plouffe, I should say, will lead things off here in the sixth.
Chris Archer starting his sixth inning. One walk, a couple strikeouts. 70 pitches. And getting strike one, 16 of 21, first pitch strikes.
Plouffe with a liner to right, fly ball to center. And fooled by a pitch, it's 0-2. Came out of the break with high hopes, went into the break with a good road trip, got some clutch hits, some well-pitched games. And the Twins, one of those teams that needed to play well out of the break to ascend to contending status, there below 500, but a tough way for the team to start with a couple of convincing losses and trailing in game 3 here today. And Plouffe dumps a base hit into right center field to start the sixth inning.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to be honest. You know, when your starting staff puts you behind the 8 ball right away, I mean, all 3 games so far, it's tough sometimes for the offense. And the Rays have a very good starting staff. Alex Cobb pitched well here. And then you ran into David Price. And here's a guy, Chris Archer, that has had very good success against the Twins, even though this is only the 3rd start.
I'm not sure why you felt the need to apologize for that. I think baseball fans in the upper Midwest are aware of what the issue is. It's, teams, when the team does well, it's because they pitched well.
Right.
And almost without exception, when this team has stubbed its toe, and that might be what happens here coming out of the break, it's because the starters haven't done their job.
Well, we try to stay positive up here. Look for that positive, on that rainbow. But sometimes it gets frustrating watching it night after night where the starters just don't go deep into the ball game or do their job.
Morales drove a double to left center field his last time up. Now up high, it's 1-1. Archer was given the opportunity to pitch through a jam in the 5th and did so successfully. The Twins want to apply a little more heat here in the 6th inning and see what happens. Headed up the middle and through. Morales with a couple of knocks. Plouffe will, as the ball gets overrun by Kiermaier, both runners will move up, and now 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Earlier in the game, the Twins right fielder, Oswaldo Arcia, overran a ball for an error. And now Kiermaier does the same thing here in the 6th.
Oh, I guarantee you he took his eye off the ball right here, seeing if Plouffe was going to go to 3rd or not. Ball shoots up the middle. Kiermaier coming in, and Plouffe rounding the bag right there. And then the ball skipped underneath his glove. We actually went to the left of his glove. And it'll be an error by Kiermaier, his 3rd of the year.
An example there of what happens when a base runner runs to the next base aggressively. Puts a little doubt, maybe even fear in the outfielder's mind, and you end up with maybe an extra base because of it. Nothing is more disturbing in that situation than seeing a runner just kind of glide into the next base without even threatening to advance beyond the next base. 1 strike to Arcia. Twins need a jolt here. They've been held in check, handcuffed, if you will, by this Tampa Bay staff. Swinging at a pitch in the dirt, 0-2. And now Arcia, who was in an RBI spot in the 4th inning, found out that Archer can bring the fastball up over the plate in the mid-90s, and Arce's had a tough time catching up with that pitch. See what he gets here on 0-2.
I think Arce has got to learn, and he's still young, that, in this situation, just hit the ball hard somewhere. Don't try to be the hero and hit a 3-run home run. Just try to make good contact.
And there's another high fastball.
He is unable to do that. Second time that Arce has struck out. Arce has struck out. And the third strikeout for Archer.
You can see the Twins in 2006 were 11 games behind. They came back to win the American League Central.
Yeah, the Rays came into this 3-game series 10.5 games behind the Baltimore Orioles. So, 9.5 behind the Orioles. So that's what they're trying to do. And Joe Maddon feels that they play the way that they have over the last 2 or 3 weeks, that they can do that.
Strike on the outside corner.
Willingham's driven in the only run, an RBI single in the second inning.
Hit the ball hard as last time up, lining out to Longoria at third. Half swing, strike 2.
That's a slider right there.
Twins' run was an unearned run because of an Archer error. Now they're trying to take advantage of a Kiermaier error. 0-2. That gets away from the catcher, and a run will score. So an error, and eventually a wild pitch gets the Twins a second run here in the 6th.
Caselli did everything he could to try to block this ball that wasn't even close. And then once he got up, you can see him slip right there, and that allowed Plouffe to score from third base. Again, not a lot of room behind home plate here at Target Field. But Plouffe able to score. 5-2 ball game.
Infield back, they'll concede a run on a ground ball just about anywhere on the field. On the ground, sharply to short. Morales will score 2 away now, and it's a 5-3 ball game. So not a base hit, but Willingham able to put the ball in play, and he's driven in 2 runs, and all 3 runs the Twins have scored have come during his at bat. Now Escobar. Twins, who squandered a scoring chance in the 5th, had to get something here in the 6th, and they did.
Get back into the game.
Escobar with a couple of hard ground balls pulled to the right side. One for a hit, one for a double play. And a dribbler foul. Beautiful day here at Target Field. More heat and humidity tomorrow. Another one tap foul.
I was going down in the elevator today coming over to the ballpark, and a couple people on the elevator were complaining because it's getting too hot. After the winter you guys had, you would think that people would enjoy the warm weather.
I still have not defrosted them. No, we'll take a little bit more of this.
It's beautiful.
2 strikes to Escobar. A little bit low. It's interested in reading Twins president Dave St. Peter's comments in the Star Tribune today regarding the weather Tuesday night for the All-Star game. Might have been the most beautiful evening in the history of Target Field, and that was kind of my impression. Just it was a magnificent night for the great showcase that is the American League All-Star game. 2-2.
Yeah, the home run hitting contest started a little late because of some rain, but that turned out well.
Yeah, especially with the rainbow suspended over the ballpark. Incredible.
It was a double rainbow.
2-2 to Escobar. This one hit well to left. Joyce is back, and he makes the catch. Good at bat again for Escobar. The Twins get a couple of runs in the 6th. In this series.
Yeah, Kevin Correa really struggled, walked a couple batters, and then a 2-run single by James Loney made it a 2-0 early lead for the Rays. Twins came back with one of their own in the 2nd inning. An unearned run made it a 3-1 ball game. Evan Longoria, a couple doubles. He is now the all-time franchise leader in doubles, passing Carl Crawford. Also the all-time leader in RBIs. And the Twins just scored a couple runs on a wild pitch and then a ground ball off the bat of Willingham.
DeDuno gave up a couple of 2-out doubles and a big run, making it a 5-1 ball game. Now finds himself in a 5-3 game. Down low, ball 1. Brandon Geyer was called out on strikes. DeDuno buckled him with a curveball. Two and 0.
Geyer in his 3rd season with the Rays, originally signed by the Cubs out of the University of Virginia. Good minor league numbers. 7 seasons in the minor leagues, just a 300 hitter. A lot of stolen bases in the minor leagues.
2-1.
One of Joe Madden's utility type players.
Now high 3-1. DeDuno issued a leadoff walk in the 5th. Gave up a single later in the inning, but the Rays didn't score. There's a strike. Twins have not announced who will start Tuesday's game against the Indians, other than to say it will not be DeDuno. Chris Johnson will start the opener tomorrow. Johnson, the only left-hander that has started a game for the Twins, and the Indians are a very left-handed team. So the hope is he'll get that series off to a good start, and then time to speculate.
Yeah, the Indians are going to have to make a roster move to have T.J. House start for them. And a leadoff walk for DeDuno, his 2nd.
Our Century link to what's next. T.J. House will go against Chris Johnson.
2 lefties.
Indians taking 3 out of 4 from Detroit, losing today. And Terry Francona back in Minnesota. He, of course, like Ron Gardenhire, on the coaching staff for the American League for John Farrell. Gone up the line, and DeDuno doesn't need to panic, and he gets the runner at first. Escobar with a sacrifice bunt, and Geyer going to second. It'll be Cleveland's first trip here. One of the weird things about the schedule. We are getting into the late part of July, and the Indians, who will make 3 trips here, have yet to be here.
Yeah, Twins have been to Cleveland a couple times. You know, we've seen more bunts in this 3-game series that sometimes we'll see the whole year with Joe Madden. He likes to do these little things to, you know, get Geyer in a scoring position. Escobar asked to bunt right there, able to do that. We saw a squeeze, a possible squeeze.
Casale 0 for 3, has been called out on strikes twice. And DeDuno will try to get him here. 1 quick strike. Strike 2 over the inside corner. Now you look up, and DeDuno's strike to ball ratio is nearly 2 to 1. But he has had to pitch around 1 leadoff walk and hoping to do it again here in the 7th. And it doesn't look like Casale is ever going to hit Samuel DeDuno. 2 down. And now Kevin Kiermaier. RBI Baseball is back. Get the retro baseball game you've been missing with simple, fun, and classic 2-button style controls. Play 9-inning games in less than 20 minutes with all 30 MLB teams and 2014 MLB players. Download RBI Baseball 14 today on Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and 4, as well as at the Apple App Store and Google Play.
You play a lot of those games?
As I've hinted, a retro baseball game to me isn't a computer game or a video game. It's the dice you played when you played Stratomatic or APBA or that spinner thing that Catico had. I've got an old one from I think it was the 30s. It's push 'em up baseball, where it's like a pinball machine, and the little ball bearings or whatever roll around into different baseball plays.
You still have that?
I've got a number of them. Used to play it a lot with my kids growing up. Then did you ever play the dart game? Where you turn the dart board around and you threw darts? People don't do that anymore. 1 strike to Kevin Kiermaier.
Well, they would have strike, base hit, home run.
Right, triple, double, everything.
Yeah, I did that at a bar once.
Oh, did you? And that ball getting away from Fryer, and another wild pitch in the dirt will allow Geyer to go to third. I was going to say I did that in my childhood, but maybe that's when you did it too in a bar. I don't know.
The second wild pitch for DeDuno. And 6 wild pitches on the year now for DeDuno.
Big runner to Strand at third, and the Rays, as much as they've been in control of this thing, have left 9 men on through 6 innings. A very important runner at third, and DeDuno hopes to leave him there. 1-1. Another one in the dirt, dug out by Fryer. And Fryer with another nice block. That's 3 in a row in the dirt from DeDuno. And the count's 3-1 for the number 9 back.
Hey, you wonder why Fryer's even getting into this position. Just go to your knees right away.
More like a hockey goalie. 3-1. Another curve for a called strike.
Very nice. Good pitch.
That's at least 4 curves in a row in this at bat. 3 of them in the dirt, 1 for a called strike.
Don't be surprised if it's another one here. And he laid off of it.
Down low, and the number 9 batter draws his second walk. Now Desmond Jennings. Jennings hit a comebacker to the mound facing Duduno in the 6th inning. We've seen the Twins do this a number of times this year, fall behind and come back and draw close or in fact win the game. But very important for Duduno here to put up a 0. He did in the 5th. Didn't in the 6th, and now he needs to strand a couple more runners here in the 7th.
Pretty good pitch, that last one.
1-0. Fox Tracks presented by Carrier. Runner at first goes, and it's a strike. Fryer with a bluff throw. Kiermaier steals second base.
Kiermaier credited with a stolen base, his 3rd of the year, 2nd stolen base for the Rays. Both of them off of Duduno.
Knock everything down now. Here we go. Get this last guy. Come on.
Half swing, and they'll appeal. Nope, 2-1.
I thought he went right there. We'll take a second look.
Nope.
No, held it back.
2-1 with 2 men in scoring position. That's another check swing, and that one he committed to. And now it's Jennings' turn to slump his shoulders. 2-2. That looked like the first one. Breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball. Swings and misses, pitches in the dirt, check swings. What'll it be on 2-2? Breaking ball and a swinging strike 3. 2 more left on. The Rays have scored 5, but they've left 11 men on through 7 innings. Minneapolis, our pleasure to present to you God Bless America.
Audition winner Anna Lotzer from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. She's going to lead us in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
As presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Nice scenic shot of three youngsters enjoying one of the 10,000 lakes. Eric Fryer swinging through strike one. Chris Archer has walked just two men. In fact, he's walked one man twice, and it's Eric Fryer. And a sinking fastball down and in, and another swing over the top, 0-2.
I'm going to say it again. He did what David Price did last night, got strike one. It has not been an easy ride for Archer. He's only had 1-2-3 inning. That was the first inning.
'96, but to the backstop, 1-2. Red Sox beat the Royals 6-0. John Lester. A shutout, or at least most of it. 1-2 to Eric Fryer. Off the plate, 2-2. Fryer had to work for his walk in the third inning, and in the fifth inning, Archer walked him on 4 pitches. Tap foul.
.94 pitches for Archer, 59 strikes, couple walks, 3 strikeouts, some action in the bullpen of the Rays. Brad Boxberry, who worked here on Friday night, up.
Another 2-2 to Fryer. On the outside corner. One of the best pitches Archer's thrown through the middle innings, and an opening strikeout here in the 7th.
It's his first called third strike of the 4 strikeouts.
Twins fans are Pepsi fans of the game, hoping for a come from behind win.
Future Twins players.
You never know.
Yep.
Fold takes inside, ball 1. Fold takes up 2-0. And a strike, 2-1. Indians losing today, on their way to Minnesota right now. Open up a 3-game series tomorrow night. Night game, day game, and we will not be televising the Twins game Wednesday afternoon. That's a fair ball into the corner. Hits the corner wall. Fold flying around first, and he'll hold up there. Kiermaier nearly screwed himself into the ground, pulling up on his throw.
Well, the speed of Kiermaier right there did a great job of getting to that ball and keeping Fold at first base.
So one thing, and we've seen it I think more this year than we did in the first 4 years of this stadium, balls hit down that right field line, and those should be doubles, and they're not because of that sidewall that sticks out. And it seems like this year it's just stopped so many balls, both for the home team and the road team, and it kicks out in front of the right fielder. And
yeah, Kiermaier was heading to the corner because he thought, okay, you're not guaranteed that it's going to hit that wall.
Right.
He made a quick little left turn and got to that ball quickly.
I think that's one of the trickier things about right field here, and it's taken a lot of extra base hits away from hitters this year. And Boxberger will come in with the tying run coming to the plate. 7th. Twins will get into the Tampa Bay bullpen now. And first, a look at the AT&T fan photo of the game. You can tweet your photo to #NorthFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in a game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. What a sight. Beautiful ballpark on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And Boxberger will be the first man up out of the Tampa Bay pen.
Yeah, Brad Boxberger relieved Alex Cobb here on Friday night in the 6th inning. Struck out 3, walked 1, threw 30 pitches, 20 for strikes. He's allowed only 20 hits in 38 innings pitched with 56 strikeouts.
Dozier tried to go after that first pitch. A fastball fouled back to the backstop, 1 strike. He's had a good road trip, winning 3 games in Seattle, 2 in Denver. Seemed like clutch hits were in abundance during that road trip, particularly with 2 out. Twins have had a tough time making the most of the few scoring opportunities they've had. In fact, the case can be made that Tampa Bay's given the Twins the 3 runs with errors and wild pitches and the like.
Yeah, 3 runs, only 1 earned run.
Great jump by Fold. And it's a stolen base. Casale had no chance and realized that as soon as he reached into the mitt for the glove.
Yeah, Sam Fold stealing his 12th base in 14 attempts. Gets into scoring position with 1 out.
Oh, and 2 now to Dozier. Got a fastball on the outside corner. Dozier's gone on 3 pitches.
It's a bullpen. They can pick up a lot of strikeouts. Saw that here on Friday night. 10 outs recorded by the bullpen, 7 on strikeouts, 3 of them from Boxberger.
No move to be made here, but since we're in the late innings, we'll tell you that today's bench for the Twins consisting of Parmelee, Santana, Suzuki, and Colabello. Nunez 0 for 3, a couple of ground balls to the left side and a fly ball to the right side. Like a changeup.
Yeah, we saw that on Friday night. A really good changeup along with a fastball in the mid-90s.
1 strike to Nunez. 4 pitches, 4 strikes from Boxberger. One and 1.
Boxberger, 26 years old. He was the Cincinnati Reds' #1 pick, 43rd overall in the 2009 draft. He was traded over to the Padres and then traded to the Rays over the winter. Spent a couple seasons with the Padres and their bullpen.
Fouled back. Nunez got a hittable pitch and spun it back to the screen. One and 2. And Fold thought about it, slammed on the brakes.
Good job by Casale blocking that ball.
2 and 2. Two and 2. The Twins' third baseman. Got him. And Boxberger comes out of the pen and strikes out Dozier and Nunez. Both left at second base. It's still 5-3.
The Twins are wrapping up their series with the Rays. Then it's back to divisional play as they host the Cleveland Indians. The series starts on Monday at 6:30 on Fox Sports North. Now back to Target Field.
Yeah, thank you. Twins down a couple runs here at Target Field as they head into the bottom of the 8th inning. And it'll be Brian Dunsing. Hopefully to record the outs quickly against the Rays for Dunsing, making his 37th relief appearance. 21 strikeouts, 13 walks in 35 2/3 innings, and Dunsing making his first appearance since Saturday when he worked 2/3 of an inning in Colorado.
That was a week ago yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so Ben Zobrist will lead things off, hitting right-handed against Dunsing, and then Joyce and Longoria do up. Rays getting 4 runs in the first 3 innings. The first 0 put up in the 4th, added a run in the 6th. The Twins haven't done well with the scoring opportunities they've had, but you could say the same thing about the Rays. They've left a lot of men on. 11 through 7 innings. That pitch, tap foul, 1 strike. Zobrist, a walk, sacrifice fly, officially 0 for 2.
Zobrist now hitting as a right-handed hitter against Dunsing, where he's hitting .344. A couple home runs from the right side of the plate.
On the ground, a few hops skipping to Escobar. Over to Morales, 1 away. And that'll bring up Matt Joyce. Actually, it's going to be Logan Forsythe hitting for Matt Joyce.
Yeah, Forsythe played in yesterday's ball game, had a couple hits, scored a run.
One down here in the Tampa Bay 8th inning. 1-0.
Dunsing in his 6th season with the Twins, 31 years old. Came up in 2009. For a couple of years, Brian was in and out of the rotation, and I think over the last couple of years they realized this is where his spot is.
By default, Dunsing had a couple of years had to lead off starting a playoff series. 3-1. Completion of this game, the Twins will be all but done with competition against the American League East. They've got 1 series in Baltimore yet. There's a strike called, 3-2. Twins won the season series this year with Toronto. Still have a chance to tie this season series. 3-4 against the Yankees, 2-4 against the Red Sox, and so far 2-1 against Baltimore. Fouled away.
It's almost reverse this year. Twins have always seemed to struggle against the East, and they're playing right around 500 baseball against the East. It's the West that have beat up the Twins. Twins are 8-15 against the Western Division teams,
and that's having won the season series with the Mariners 5-2. And strike 3. Forsythe gone on strikes, and a couple of outs here in the 8th. And Longoria will hit next. Twins fans, get your tickets now for the July 25th game against the Chicago White Sox at Target Field. DQ Camp Night, and the first 20,000 fans will get one when they pass through the gates. Don't miss one of the most popular giveaways of the season, DQ Cap Night. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com and get your tickets now. Strike on the outside corner. Longoria with a pair of doubles, being served up a steady diet of right-handed curveballs, and he's caught up with a couple of them for a pair of doubles.
Yeah, again, both of them 0-2 pitches. One from Correa, one from Doduno that they left up, and Longoria passing Carl Crawford, now the all-time doubles leader in Rays history.
Well, now neither Correa nor Doduno have your curveball, but those would be the ones that keep you awake at night, aren't they?
I hung some of those too, 0-2, and they did.
On the outside corner, 1-2.
Well, the intention was there. It was the execution that didn't happen.
Yeah. Never question your effort, right? The effort is always there, but sometimes the execution's terrible.
It stinks.
It's my creed on the golf course. Sometimes the execution is
on your third or fourth putt.
Well, if it gets to the fourth putt, then it's the effort that's no longer there. I just want to get it over with. Good inning for Dunsing. We'll see if the Twins can get some work done in the bottom of the eighth.
With us after the final out of the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We will show you how the Rays were able to jump on the Twins early. We'll also take a look at one of the highlights for the Twins in this game, which would be Kendrys Morales extending his hitting streak to now 10 games, and he will get to hit in this inning. We'll see what he can do there. We'll also hear from manager Ron Gardenhire and get some player reaction following the game on Twins Live. Dick and Bert?
All right, thank you, Jamie. Twins hoping to give their fans something to get excited about. And in the eighth inning, the Rays will bring out their closer to pitch to the middle of the Twins lineup.
Yeah, you know what? Joe Madden just sometimes plays the hunches. Now, McGee, he worked here on Friday night. An inning. He struck out all three batters. He did give up an infield base hit to Escobar. And then last night, picked up his 8th save by working 2/3 of an inning, 12 pitches, 9 for strikes with a strikeout. See the strikeouts again, 54 strikeouts for McGee in 43 innings, and he's allowed only 28 hits. He's yet to give up a home run.
Forsythe staying in the game, taking over at second. Zobrist taking over for Joyce in left. Now, this is the type of thing that has earned Joe Madden the reputation of being a bit of a maverick, doing some things that aren't formulaic. But really, when you look at it, this makes all the sense in the world. If McGee is your best relief pitcher, why not have him face the best Twins hitters in the middle of the lineup in the 8th inning? And then with Balfour maybe in the 9th if it works according to plan. But no, this makes all the sense in the world to me. Plouffe takes ball one. Foul back 1-1.
I know Glenn Perkins has even mentioned that you know, even though he's the Twins closer, there were a lot of times that, you know, he was asked before he became the closer, the 7th and 8th inning, he said, you know, I came into situations a lot worse than sometimes as a closer.
Right. And you've got
Perkins getting up.
You know, in with Perkins warming up, 1-1 to Plouffe. 1-2. Balfour was the closer before with the Rays earlier this year. In fact, so you've got a guy with closing experience that you can fall back to in the 9th inning. Playing matchups, you got a right-handed hitter in Plouffe, switch hitter Morales, and then the lefty Arcia. Although Colabello is on the bench. Plouffe got a piece.
Well, what we've seen from McGee the last couple nights, good fastball. I mean, 96 to 98.
One and two, and he's not afraid to throw it. He's just thrown it by hitters in this series. 97 up around the hands, 2-2.
The last couple of years, McGee has been in this role as a setup man.
Three and two. Morales on deck. Got leadoff man on in the 6th on Plouffe's single, scored a couple of runs. Plouffe trying to get a board here to start the 8th. High fastball at 97. A foul straight back. Check out our camera.
Right back into the robo camera. Watch out.
That's one tough piece of equipment. It's right back up, ready to go. Another 3-2 to Plouffe. Foul back. Up and to the right of our camera.
There's a RoboCam.
Nodding, it's okay. Its version of thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
3 2-strike fouls for Plouffe. And a 4th. Nearly hit the camera again. These are all high fastballs, aren't they?
Yes,
that
they
he's
are.
fouling back.
Yeah, all fastballs. Scouting report says he's got a slider and a curveball and a changeup, but we haven't seen it. Another foul ball. 10 pitches in this at bat so far. There's a velocity.
Quite a battle to start the 8th inning. Pitch number 11. And another foul ball. 6 2-strike fouls for Plouffe. Breaking ball finally, and he couldn't throw it over.
He tried to sneak a breaking ball in, and Plouffe, good at bat, ends up drawing a walk.
And get the tying run to the plate. And Kendrys Morales. Morales with 2 hits today. Now 89 at bat since his last home run. Came as a right-handed batter. It wouldn't take much power at all to propel one over the fence if you can catch one of these fastballs flush. That's exactly what he tried to do. 1 strike. One strike to Morales. Lined over the Twins dugout. 2 strikes.
Morales 23 home runs last year for the Seattle Mariners. 103 major league home runs. Two fastballs so far in the upper 90s.
You know, other than the first pitch to this at bat, I don't know that McGee's had a swing and a miss. Plouffe kept fouling him off. Now Morales with a couple of fouls.
Well, he threw 13 pitches here on Friday night, 12 last night. He threw 12 alone to Trevor Plouffe.
2 strikes to Morales. Checked his swing, we think. 1 and 2.
I know managers don't like to use relievers for 3 straight games, but as you mentioned earlier, they have an off day tomorrow. Then the 2-game series against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Then another off day.
Two and 2, nearly hit the back leg of Morales. He's thrown 17 pitches, 16 fastballs. Colabello's in the on-deck circle. He will hit for Arcia. A mile in the air. Loney climbs the mound, and ball caught by Longoria.
He went up the mound and then had to retreat, and able to actually fall and catch the ball.
1 down. One away in the 8th, and now Colabello will hit for Arcia.
See Longoria actually on his way down, able to catch that ball.
Arcia had gone 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
Was under it, then had to backpedal. Great concentration.
Fouled back. I think I mentioned last night, maybe the night before. It's on my bucket list to have Chris Colabello catch up with one of McGee's 97-mile-per-hour fastballs.
Yeah, he faced him last night, ended up flying out to left field. First batter that McGee faced in the 9th inning.
I think the ball could go a long ways if that were to happen. Colabello as a pinch hitter, 2 for 7. Is in the dirt. Plouffe anchored at first. Well, at this point, especially with less than 2 strikes, you can pretty much gear up for the fastball, can't you? He's throwing one off-speed pitch.
Right.
And he did not throw it for a strike. Colabello, of course, with enough power to hit it out to any part of the ballpark. And he got one up and away, and he fouled it back. 1-2. Right-handed power available for the Twins in this inning. First Colabello, and then barring a double play, Willingham. Chopped foul. Getting a piece of a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Bluth drew a leadoff walk after a 12-pitch battle. And another 1-2 coming to Colabello. Fouled away over the Twins dugout.
Twins batters, Plouffe able to foul some pitches off. Morales did. Now Colabello, because, yeah, it's a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball, but it's pretty straight.
It's got to help a batter if he's pretty confident that it's a fastball that's going to be coming. A high fly to left and a long run for Zobrist, fighting the sun, and he makes a nice catch. After about a 100-yard run, he was able to get there and then looked up at the sun as if he lost the flight of the ball for a moment. 2 down.
Yeah, nice running catch right there. Colabello kind of jammed himself a little bit right there. Zobrist able to run it down.
Jim Hickey to the mound.
Yeah, just to give him a breather.
Willingham hitting .250 against lefties. 3 of his 8 home runs against left-handed pitching. Twins have hit 1 home run in this series. When they went 5-2, they didn't. They hit 1 home run in the first 6 games of the last road trip before Escobar and Dozier hit a pair. It's exactly what the Twins need here from a guy who 2 years ago hit 35 home runs for the Twins. Down low, ball 1. Having used Colabello, the Twins with a bench of Parmelee, Santana, and Suzuki. 1-0. One and one. Two and one. Seven pitches and all but 1 fastballs, I believe.
Yeah, everything's fastball.
Big swing and a foul tip, 2-2.
And that's a hard fastball to make good contact with, that high fastball. You're hoping that he would throw it, about thigh high to where you can drop the barrel of the bat. We saw that from Trevor Plouffe the other day, yesterday against David Price.
Got him.
Oh, boy.
98 miles per hour to finish off the Twins in the 8th. Five-3 Rays going to the 9th inning. And the all-star closer Tuesday night here at Target Field, Glenn Perkins, comes into a regular season game.
Perk making his 40th relief appearance. He last worked, of course, during the All-Star game, but actually for the Twins last Sunday. A shutout inning in the Twins' 13-5 win.
He'll face Loney, Geyer, and Escobar in the Tampa Bay 9th. Curiously, at least it's curious to me, I don't see anybody warming up in the Tampa Bay bullpen.
Belfour was up last inning.
Well, he was, okay. Yep. So he's just sitting down and will start up again with 1 or 2 outs in the inning, probably to get warm for the 9th. Down the left field line, foul. 2 strikes. Quite a night Tuesday for Perkins, getting the save in the All-Star game. His catcher, Kurt Suzuki, brought in expressly to catch Perkins in the 9th inning.
Definitely a dream come true for Glenn Perkins. Wow.
Just off the corner. Perkins thought he delivered a perfect pitch.
That's a perfect pitch. I think what we have seen is Gabe Morales missing some pitches back there for both sides. Pitcher's pitch. See the number 3 on Fox track.
Of course, Colabello staying in the game in right field. One and 2. There it is. And if he hadn't called it that time, we might have had an incident. 1 down. Tuesday night, Perkins trying to protect a 2-run lead.
Wow, what a job by Glenn Perkins. Came in and he attacked the strike zone. Final out right there. High five to your catcher. As the American League won 5-3.
could see Perkins as he was shaking hands with everyone, trying to get Adrian Beltre's attention. Here's a hard bunt, and Nunez can't field it. It'll be a bunt single for Geyer.
He was trying to get Beltre's attention because when that ball was thrown around, Beltre just threw him a pea on the mound.
He almost sailed it right by his left ear.
That came with 2 outs, and he did it before. And Perkins kind of took it, smile. And then when he did it again, Perk kind of looked over his left shoulder like, what are you doing over there? Beltre just having some fun.
Geyer with a bunt single. 1 out. Escobar, the hitter. And is it a baseball? Some debris out in right field. Colabello retrieves it. Somebody lost a cap. Awfully small cap.
Might be a youngster's cap.
Escobar with 2 hits and a sacrifice bunt.
Geyer at first base. He has 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Joe Madden would like to get him over to second base. There's been only a couple stolen bases against Perkins.
On the outside corner, strike 1. Every game, of course, teams have meetings, make sure everybody's aware of the opponent's strengths and all that. The word on the Rays has been for a long time, be alert. They will run at every opportunity.
A couple times in this 3-game series, a hit and run situation. That's maybe why a couple throwovers. Escobar yesterday, hit and run. Perfectly executed. Moved the runner from first to third.
One strike. 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball there.
That's a pitch that we didn't see Glenn use much of at all in April. He'd throw an occasional one, but whether it was the cold temperatures or whatever, he just relied on a fastball in the opening weeks of the season. That's hit to left and hit well. That ball carrying and caught near the edge of the track by Willingham. 2 down.
I want to go back to that breaking ball. If the Twins a couple throwovers thought maybe a hit and run was on. That's a good pitch to throw rather than a fastball if the hit and run was on. Escobar did swing. Geyer did stay at first base. So.
Okay, but why? Why a breaking ball?
Well, because it's a little bit harder if it's a fastball away. Then Escobar's thinking, well, it's a hit and run. I'm going to take it the other way. We're a breaking ball down and in, a little harder to hit that toward right field.
2 down, and now Casale.
Nice catch by Willingham, staying with that line drive.
You can see that he fought a little bit of what Zobrist was dealing with in the bottom of the 8th inning. The ball hit right up in the sun. Swing and a miss. Now with 2 outs, Grant Balfour re-warming. And 93 miles per hour over the inside corner. Perkins, of course, given the star treatment, being an all-star. Rode in a parade, pitched in a big ball game. Finished a ball game in front of a thunderous crowd, something he hopes to do under different circumstances later in his career. Always, you guys that won in '87 and those that won in '91, great moments for you all, but always felt it had to be extra special for Kent Herbeck, who grew up here and grew up a Twins fan and was able to win a couple of world championships. Well, that's what Perkins wants to do.
Yep.
Pulled foul again.
Well, that's what Joe Mauer would like to do. Jack Morris had that opportunity, what, 4 times?
Once with the Twins.
Right.
Molitor won a World Series. Paul did with the Brewers.
I believe Dave Winfield.
Dave Winfield did the year before with Toronto, with the Blue Jays. 2 strikes. And that's a real good inning for Glenn Perkins. A bunt single is left aboard. Let's see if the Twins can give the home crowd something to cheer about in the bottom of the 9th.
Posed and inflicted. Struck him out. Got him. Breaking ball got him. Finishes are earned and celebrated. Little number. Soria fumbles it, and the Twins win the game. Santana off the end of the bat becomes a game-winning hero. It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. Tapper back to Thornton, and a throw to first is down the line. Willingham scores the winning run. The last 2 walk-off wins for the Twins haven't been classic at-bats with dramatic hits, but the Twins will take whatever it takes to get a couple of runs here against former Twin Grant Belfour.
Yeah, Belfour making his 39th relief appearance. He worked here on Friday night. Pitched 1 shutout inning with a strikeout, 14 pitches, 7 for strikes. He's had a little control problems, 27 walks in 36 1/3 innings, 2 intentional, with 36 strikeouts.
Now, he has said that he discovered that he was tipping his pitches, and that in a way it actually contributed to his control problems, because pitchers, if you know a fastball's coming, if you know a breaking ball's coming, it's easier to lay off a pitch, not just put it in play and hit it with authority. But he says he spent some time in the bullpen. He's straightened out some of his mechanics, and he hopes now that that's no longer an issue for him. Escobar to lead things off.
Well, it could be something that he did with his hands when he brought his hands, down. Maybe didn't bring him as far on a breaking ball than a fastball. Just little things. But in today's game, with all the videos that are out there, you get a chance to look at yourself and say, okay, fastball I did this, breaking ball I did this. Is there a difference? But also look at his numbers. I mean, only 29 hits in 36 1/3 innings, 27 walks. I don't care if you're tipping your pitches. He's not throwing strikes.
But if you discover it as a result of a perceived problem, the other team has already found something out through video, and it can be the most minute of things. But by the time you open up a series against, in this instance, Tampa Bay, word spreads through the league too, and somebody is tipping their pitches, and pretty soon it becomes a chronic issue. 2-1 now to Escobar. That's hit to left center field, but Zobrist is there for the catch. twice now that Escobar's hit the ball sharply to left for an out, one down.
Yeah, you know, I have not seen enough of Grant Belfour over, but you know, Kevin Correa has that where he keeps the ball in his right hand before he brings it up. It could be that. Now he keeps, maybe Belfour now keeping the ball in his glove. Just little things like that. I know my first year, Harry Warner was my coach in Orlando, single A, and I had a habit of having the ball in my right hand, and when I brought it up, I would bring it up one way for a curveball, one way for a fastball, so he had me put the ball in the glove, and that seemed to help.
Suzuki, the pinch hitter for Fryer, 1-0. Wasn't there a deal, too, that if you were throwing your curve, you'd stick your tongue out?
I did that on every picture I ever saw. Hey, if they're looking at my tongue, look for it, because I think I can get that fastball by him then.
Suzuki trying to get aboard. Fold scheduled next.
Every action picture I ever had, unless I threw all curveballs, I don't know.
Ooh. Bit of a flinch by Gabe Morales, but it's ball 3.
That's what I was talking about right there. Even Belfour kind of looked in as Perkins looked in. I think we've seen this from both sides. Pretty good pitches. Like it just got the corner.
Suzuki should be taking here on 3-0. And it's a 4-pitch walk. And again, tipping pitches or not, you got to throw it over the plate.
Right.
Suzuki aboard. And Fold, the hitter. The only bench player the Twins would have available to them is Chris Parmelee, who certainly has more power, but Fold's been one of the better Twins hitters lately.
They got a base hit right down that first baseline in his last at bat, almost a double, but a caromed over to Killmeyer, and he did a good job of getting the ball back in.
Strike on the outside corner. Big at bat here because Fold, very fast player. If he could so much as get to first base and advance Suzuki in the process, well, then you're a double away, likely from tying the game. Down and in, 1-1. And once the numbers grow to where they've grown this year with Balfour, teams are going to make him throw a strike. Suzuki never got one, and so now he stands at first base. And it's 1-1 to Fold. Belt high strike, and Fold thought it was high. Didn't think it was close.
You can see that Fox track said it was high.
1-2.
Battle, Sammy, come on. Come on, Sammy, keep battling. Come on, kid.
One and 2 to Sam Fold. 2-2. Twins leaving some power, Parmelee, and some speed, Santana on the bench for the time being. Two and 2 to Sam Fold. In the dirt, full count. You don't dare send Suzuki here, do you?
No, you do not. You know what? And we saw this the other night from Belfour, the breaking ball. He threw a lot of them in front of home plate, really struggling with that breaking ball.
The one he got called, Fox Tracks had high out of the strike zone.
Yep.
Dozier on deck, full count to Fold.
And you have to look fastball right here. Belfour 13 pitches, only 4 strikes.
Pulled foul.
Looked like he went to the breaking ball.
Bit of a technical issue in the truck, so we're going to show you the balance of folds at bat from this camera angle.
I like this angle.
3 and 2, especially if he hits a double into the right field corner.
That's what I was thinking.
Ball 4. A line out to left, a pair of walks, and Fold is the key guy here because his speed represents the tying run. 2 more walks by Balfour. McGee's already been used. Dozier, the team leader in home runs and runs batted in, with the tying run at first. And here comes Joe Madden. Ramos, another left-hander, is warming up. And there's a right-hander down there as well. Balfour given a chance to sort out some issues here in a save situation.
I think he already made the move.
Change here with Balfour taken out. He walked the number 8 batter, a pinch hitter Suzuki, and the number 9 batter, Sam Fold. The tying run on Sam Fold at first base.
And Kirby Yates coming into the ball game just in his rookie season. Yates, a former, is the son of former Major League pitcher Tyler Yates, who pitched with the Boston Red Sox, and, the Mets, the Braves, and the Pirates.
Closer in the minor leagues for the Rays, and he's got a chance to pick up his first big league save. He's pitched, as you see there, 14 2/3 innings, 14 hits, a couple of home runs, but just 3 walks. And after what Grant Balfour has done, that might be the big number, but clearly the biggest outing so far for Yates. In a save situation, he needs to get 2 outs. The Twins have Suzuki at second and very good speed at first in Sam Fold. Dozier today 0 for 4, has not gotten the ball out of the infield. A week ago today, Dozier hit 2 home runs at Coors Field. Hit a couple of them in the home run derby on Tuesday or Monday night. 1 hit so far in this series. Outside, ball 1.
His last home run on Sunday, his second one was a 3-run home run. That's what the Twins would like to see right here.
Roll to third. Longoria fires to second. They'll get just 1. And now Dozier represents the tying run with 2 away, and Nunez coming to the plate.
Yeah, looked like kind of a check swing by Bryant. And Longoria get the lead run right there. That's the tying run at second base. They get the force out. And Dozier beat out the relay.
Now Jim Hickey to the mound. A tough series for Dozier, who didn't have much of an all-star break, and he's come out the second half after the break, and tough time picking up hits. Nunez is hitless in 4 at-bats. Twins have been out hit 11-6. Take advantage of 2 walks. Paul Molitor, the first base coach. Scotty Ulger moving over to third. Joe Vabra nursing a hip injury. Not on the bases during this series. Last hope for the Twins, Eduardo Nunez. Rays will keep an eye on Dozier. Nunez takes a breaking ball, strike 1.
H has allowed 2 home runs, and Nunez, all 3 of his home runs have been hit here at Target Field.
Reaching across the plate, tapping it foul, and now the Twins are down to their last strike. It's just been a chronic problem in this series. Clutch hitting. Hitting with men in scoring position. 3 runs that the Twins have today have been the direct result of misplays by the Rays. And Nunez trying to deliver a big 2-out hit now with 2 strikes. Popped up behind first. Long run for Kiermaier. And it's the second baseman, Forsythe, who makes a great catch, sliding on the warning track to end the game and the series.
Yeah, Twins were just 2 for 22 with runners in scoring position coming into that at-bat in this series.
Nice play by the second baseman, playing in a foreign ballpark. And Tom Hanneman, the Rays, came into the All-Star break the hottest team in the American League, and they will leave Minnesota having extended a good run of baseball.
Dick, the Rays for the 4th consecutive season sweep a series from the Twins. A 5-3 final today. Up next on Twins Live, we'll talk about Kendrys Morales extending his streak. We'll hear from Gardy, and we'll preview the series with the Indians.